Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this. Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live, yo.
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
For the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar.
Welcome to the party.
And Simon.
Fuck you.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. Kamar, are there any patrons from the last 2 weeks, seeing as we didn't really do an episode last week?
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day. Love you, Ma.
Big shout out to Justin.
All right, Justin.
And I'm going to have to assume that's true though.
He's trying to get the inside track on what we're saying about him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what real voters are thinking.
Welcome to the show. Join the Patreon. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tickle the algo. Join us for the post, Joe, every Tuesday.
No, the post show comes out Friday.
Every Friday.
Tuesday. That's been like forever.
Yeah. Real quick, how was it taking a week off? Was it, I know you listened to all the episodes, Simon. How was it having a week off?
Well, it was nice being able to choose what episodes to listen to. That made it seem like a normal podcast. Mm-hmm. I picked the best one, the done.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed that we don't get to, like, what we really should do. Pick the worst episode of this week, get rid of it, insert.
I didn't listen to Done.
In
so.
the
whatever his name
in the
was.
spirit of thinking that time no longer matters, stuff in the can. Who someone pointed out that it's very possible that Tucker went on that episode of Kill Tony and went home and came back and did. Like, it isn't like this. We have to, since you're here, get you on the show right now.
No, it just feels odd. I mean, listen, it's very possible that Joe was like, maybe Tucker was like, I'd like to meet with Joe and have dinner first before I go on the show. You know what I mean? Feel him out. And then they have dinner, and then he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do the show.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. I don't understand what he's saying. What are you saying?
What did I say?
He's
Nothing
saying,
that made any sense.
We're saying there's no way this episode just came out because
Tucker
we
Carlson.
know he was on Kill Tony 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact time.
Kamar, this is the thing.
Well, we know he was on Kill Tony.
Yeah.
Because Joe took him out, brought him out. So he must have been with Joe.
yeah.
You think
Kamar's
they're just buddies out fucking fishing?
But the podcast and the Kill Tony did not have to happen at the same time.
Yeah, they did. Because otherwise, why would he bring... Oh, I see what you're saying.
Asked and answered.
But that... Okay.
Kamar, you want to go over the guest
I
list
feel
this
like
week?
I'm just confusing myself.
You are. I guarantee that's exactly what's going on right now.
He brings him out on Kill Tony. You're saying he was there on 2 separate occasions?
100% is what I'm inferring.
What he's saying is that there is a chance, outside chance, that Tucker Carlson flew to Austin, hung out with Joe, had dinner, went on Kill Tony, left Austin, maybe went back home, maybe went to New York City. Who the fuck knows?
We
then flew back to Austin to then be on the Joe Rogan Experience. That's what Kamar's saying.
We know that he came a day early and had dinner with Joe Rogan. That happened before the podcast. They mention it.
So that too could, all those things.
How many
could be
times do
true.
you think he's going there? How many times do you think he's hanging out with Joe Rogan?
You act like he's not rich. I mean, listen, I would not fly home and back.
Joe only has dinner with people when they're coming on the podcast.
Well, how about one guest we just had this week, just to keep it rolling here, that could only come in for the podcast and didn't have time to even go to see the club?
Sebastian Maniscalco.
So people have schedules.
He just said a totally different thing, looked at me like case in point.
Well, no, he makes a good point.
It's in the spirit of, does time matter when something happens, when it's talked about?
But what's his
ratio.
name going there and only being there for a day there's no correlation to Tucker Carlson. I don't see the tie-in.
I see that you'd think Sebastian would go to their podcast. Oh, you got to come to the club. Like, yeah, I'll come. Oh, who was it? So it was just on a week ago, like, I'll cancel my ticket. I'll sell my house.
Can we start this whole podcast?
What are you
again?
mad about right now?
I'm not mad about it.
Just last week was Christopher Dunn, who Simon really liked, it was rather interesting. Then Tulsi Gabbard, who
Gabbard.
it's a weird are they flirting sort of thing going on. Chris DiStefano and Colin Quinn, and I really like Colin Quinn, and his new special is really good. It is a corporate.
That's last week.
That's last week, but no, just sidebar. Colin Quinn's it's a show for a bunch of psychologists. It isn't like a show in a comic club set up, but it's really, really funny. I just want to give him that shout out. But yeah, this week we had 2146 Derek Poston, followed by 2147 Purvey of Truth Mike Baker, 2148 Poor Man's Jordan Peterson Gad Sad, and 2149 Sebastian Maniscalco.
I don't have a bicep, Joe. I don't sweat.
I think that's a total power move to come in, not enough time, like biggest podcast in the world. I don't have time to go to your club.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here, I'm coming in, I'm doing my
Listen,
thing.
I heard it's,
I'm back on the red
I
eye.
heard it's beautiful. I'll check it out sometime. We'll see.
Schedules.
Yeah, you know how it is, Joe. I'm on the road. I did the Vulcan twice, 3 shows.
Are we just going to do him instead?
No, just
We got to rate
Start however you. Oh yeah, rate the week. Yeah, fuck. I don't know. I'll give it a. Oof, this week stunk. Who was it again before Sebastian?
Gad.
Oh my
Sad.
god, this week gets a fucking hard 1.5.
Baby Joe's best friend.
This fucking. But like Joe, I've been here 10 times. That has to be a record.
Would you say it? I'm your confident. Joe, you would say our relationship is just better than every other relationship you have with other people.
And this guy has the audacity to be like, I don't understand why people hate Jews. Like, dude, you're annoying as fuck.
Whoa, easy.
Whoa, yeah, ease into it. Like Joey says, you can't just do that to them, dog. Ease into it.
Listen, it's really the wrong time for your specific brand of anti-Semitism. All right, fucking read the room, take it easy.
I didn't say from the river to the sea, asshole.
Why you did now?
There's lots of reasons to hate Gad Sad. It doesn't have to be because he's Jewish. All right.
Well said.
Fire it up, Kamar.
2146 Derek Poston.
That's who we're starting with.
Yeah.
Well, the reason
Did
why
I rate? I didn't even rate the week.
Oh, well, I gave it 2.5.
I'll give it a 1.5. Yeah.
I follow Matt with a 1.75. Well, close. We're close. Don't fucking leave me hanging, you cocksucker.
Listen, I'm going to lose money today because of you.
Maybe, and maybe you'll win. Who knows? That's gambling.
Derek Post and Kamar, what do you got? I'm not going to lie. The last hour of this, I definitely didn't listen to. I fell asleep.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. That's because of
They
Tulsi.
sounded a lot better before I read them out loud to you. The bets.
That's how bets always go. You read it out loud and you're like, oh my God, out
What am
loud.
I
It sounds
doing?
awful. Go ahead, Kamar.
So yeah, Joe is talking about getting an apartment for a podcast studio.
I know he sounds like he sounds like us.
It sounds crazy. Well, no, that sounds like us getting a cottage and putting a studio in there. To think of it. I mean, obviously that's a beauty of it. It's not a job, but I think it's the same thing as I remember when they did the Ice House Chronicles, and he started it, and he just this idea that somebody just wants to come onto a show that's sort of constantly in flux with people coming and going.
Look, I don't know how big Joe's thing is. I've never been there, but the fact that Rob Dyrdek had what he called a fun factory and Joe just has this like mini mall.
Oh, I'm sure Joe has a fun factory. Oh, or what about what Dude Perfect has? I mean,
I would rather what Rob or Dude Perfect has over
Mr.
what Joe
Beast?
has. Yeah, Mr. Beast.
doesn't
has.
it seem Mr. Beast might own North Carolina?
Yes, it
Like
does
the
seem
whole
that way.
state he's just taken over. Anyways, they're talking about having an apartment for a studio. I think a bad idea, but what do I know? Crunchy Cheetos. There's the cheese puffs, and then there's the real crunchies.
Yeah.
A Canadian company makes the best ones.
I know who you're talking about because I saw a This is so funny. I saw a reel
Yeah, Instagram.
all about how this cheese puff from Ontario or whatever is the best one.
Yeah.
Which he must have seen too.
No, I've lived it my life.
They're terrible.
Why?
Which ones are they? Do you have a name for me?
I don't know.
really
They're
bad
in
that
like
I
a
can't.
blue and white bag.
I was gonna do some
It
research
looks
this
really old school. I forget the fucking name.
Yeah, they look like-
it looks like they're from like 1940.
They're like Franks or something. They're
And I'm pretty
Frenchies.
sure the stock is from 1940.
That's why they're crunchy.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No,
I can't, it's going to
it's
disrupt
fine.
the whole
It's fine.
thing.
It's fine. I'll look. them up later.
Anyways, the best cheese puffs are.
Well, do you like the puffs or the crunches?
I like the puffs personally. I'll eat the crunches
Hawkins.
in a pinch.
Hawkins cheese.
Show him the bag though. That's how he'll know
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
No, those are the best.
No, wrong. Disagree.
No, they're the best.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways,
I mean, I guess it's how you raise it. I just remember having puffs and that always being like cheesy, but a weird how it disappeared in your mouth.
No, I like that
it.
though. I love
I love
the
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 puff.
balls when you can throw. Oh,
you know the problem
go on.
inherently with all cheese snacks
Yeah,
is the shit on your fingers.
goldfish. You don't really get that.
No, not goldfish. Anything good.
I love goldfish.
Oh no. Goldfish is like that's healthy shit.
Well,
But have you seen the guy on Shark Tank? And he invented these tiny mini chopsticks, and they go on your fingers here, and it's so you can eat your chips and play your video games at the same
tell me
time.
no one gave him money.
No, I think they bought it.
I mean, you know what? Now that you mention it, I bought
Hey, you have that thing,
the weed ring. Yeah.
the weed ring.
Yeah, no,
which
I
you've
just
never
thought about
used
it.
in your whole life.
No, probably twice.
But this is way more practical.
But I don't smoke weed in the house anymore, so it has no use anymore.
You never used it over there either.
I use it a few times.
I mean, just for the novelty of it all.
No, there were times like it's more just like a remembering to use. You know what I mean? It's getting in the habit of like whatever.
He hates this.
We make the best crunchies, Hawkins. Maybe they're from Montreal though, so
You're
I
going
give
back
take
to the
it.
cheese puffs. Do you have a bit about the cheese puffs that I interrupted?
This is what they talked about, my man.
They talked about Hawkins.
My guy.
No.
The next thing they talked about was
My God.
the roast of Tom Brady. Did you watch it?
Of course.
I think like Tony is went to another level in that sort of thing. That he could still blow, but he stole the show.
I thought Nikki was
I thought
really
Nikki
good.
Glazer
I thought
was
Nikki was
the
the
best.
best.
Nikki
Yeah.
Glazer
She
was the
was
best.
so funny.
But Tony, like, when he walked up and said, nice shoes, bitch.
Yeah.
Did you get those in the divorce?
He was funny. I will give it to you. I hated the. It's like, kill Tony. Who do I pull
Yeah,
out?
that was
Dana
terrible.
White. Like, could you be more fucking cheesy?
But when he says, here's the thing, you may not know about Dana White, is he's a degenerate gambler.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's a thing. And then he went on to,
So that's a thing.
it was the best roast I've ever seen, probably because it's live. Do you think Tom Brady did get up and
Don't you find it weird calling someone who's a billionaire a degenerate gambler? Like to me, a degenerate gambler is someone who has nothing and is like
Sony?
me.
Yeah, he's an avid gambler.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a
Yeah.
better word for
Yeah,
it, right? Like,
agreed.
But there are degenerate gamblers.
of course, dude. There's millions
People
of
who
degenerate
bet their
gamblers.
family's money. Dana has money to bet reckless for the rest of his life, and then his kids can
Thank
bet
you.
reckless
Thank
for the rest
you.
of
But
their
it's a
lives.
roast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it.
so you say
yeah,
it's funny,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did
you
so you
hear-
say it funny?
It's bad when Joe says it, like when he's talking about his friend Dana,
Yeah.
and he calls him a degenerate.
degenerate.
Gambler.
That's my
He
point.
should call him an avid gambler.
Yeah, don't say it in the pejorative. He's also a winner.
But if Dana
all
refers to
accounts.
himself as a degenerate gambler, then
Well, it's okay to like I can say bad things about Jews. You shouldn't.
yeah, it's the Canadian sensibility.
You shouldn't. In
Oh, don't
this
worry, Simon.
Temperature,
Don't worry, Simon. It's coming. They're going to make laws for your people that we can't say anything about them.
I thought you were gonna go a different direction with that, but okay. Maybe that should be the case.
No, Simon, you know it shouldn't.
I'm not gonna discuss this with you. Let's
Free
move
speech?
on.
You don't want to discuss free
I
speech?
don't want to discuss
Okay.
this with you.
You want to discuss
Did
free
you
speech?
did you hear this? Yeah, did you hear the story about how Dana told the joke where he says, "My name is Dana"? Isn't that trans enough for you woke retards? I'm paraphrasing something.
Yeah, he
So
didn't.
that
He
effect.
didn't say that, but yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know if that joke's gonna work." He's like, "I don't care if it works. I just want to say it."
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just
When I was talking to Shep, he's like, I've heard Dana make that same joke on like 10 podcasts. So don't think it was so like off the cuff.
I
who
hated
knows what was off the cuff.
I hated Tom Brady going up to Jeff Ross and being like, "Don't say that shit again."
That was so interesting.
Was it so real, or
so
was
I
it Chris
watched
Rock?
the
Was it-
background thing on the Tom
dive?
Brady roast, and apparently
Yeah, he said preemptively, he was like,
there
"Don't
were
talk
only
about this."
two. My behind the snes was Andrew Schulz talked about it on his podcast. There were only two things you weren't allowed to joke about: Tom Brady's kids and craft and massages. You could make fun of other things about him, but apparently that was like too real.
Listen, here's my thing: the kids, I can get behind, but the craft thing, dude, it's a roast. Just don't do the roast.
No, if
You're a fucking maniac. You want to do the roast, so people are going to talk about your former employer getting fucking
But
rubbing
he's
tugs.
too old.
No, if
he's
it's-
too old.
No, he's
if
not.
you're a big
He
enough
is.
man to do that, to go on there and let people make fun of you, and you have one caveat, and that caveat.
Two caveats.
Okay,
One
well,
caveat is fine.
The kids should always
And
be
no,
not brought
you
in.
know what?
And wait, hold on. And your only caveat is, I don't want you to make a joke about a guy who, like, it's not even him. He's not saying, don't call me gay. You know what I mean? Don't not call me gay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, but at the same time, it's like, look, I grew up watching rap battles, and like, I always hated it when someone was like, "Don't talk about my dead homie," or like some shit like that. Like, dude, it's a rap battle. You're gonna say some evil shit about his family. He's gonna say some evil shit about you. It's the agreement. It's a roast. You agreed that that you were gonna sit in a chair and that people were gonna say mean things about you for 2 hours.
Yeah, but what if you got to take it to there, and someone just wanted like, oh God, get him, and just roasted you so hardcore? Would you like? You'd be flattered, because they did make a
The
joke.
camera would be on me.
They did make a joke to Kraft about tell Putin to give me my ring back.
That was
Dude, I
hilarious.
died
Yeah,
laughing.
that was great.
The more context you knew about football, because Ben Affleck and Peyton Manning being surprises, I almost started crying. Like it was so like, wow, this can't get crazy.
Ben Affleck?
You didn't see him come out?
Like, okay, I'm sorry.
No, when you're watching live, you don't know he's coming out. No,
It's Ben fucking Affleck.
but he's from Boston. It's the fucking all my life growing up, he represented Boston, and the only thing crazier would be Mark Wahlberg. That'd be fucking
Only
insane.
thing crazier.
This is nuts.
What
This
is
is-
He acts like there wasn't so many famous people there.
But we're talking about
Kim
the Patriots.
Kardashian was there.
We're talking about Boston and the Patriots.
Who gives a shit?
That's the last person you want
That's
roasting
the,
someone.
that's the only reason you know who Tom Brady is.
Okay.
I thought Anchorman. I
Bill
thought
Burr.
Ron
Oh, Bill
Burgundy
Burr
coming
was
out was.
missing.
Well, that's San Diego.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general,
They
like
have
it's a
to be
weird
related.
thing
Oh,
that
yeah,
Ron
yeah.
Burgundy
Yeah,
came out
yeah.
like, 15 years later.
Maybe if they
Bill
were,
Burr would have made sense. I mean, it was amazing.
Bill Burr declined.
He did.
Yes.
Really.
Because he's not an
Illuminati.
attention whore.
Illuminati. And Tom Brady did amazing, as what the star quarterback would do. Took it all and roasted everyone. Agreed? Or he
I didn't think he was so great. But
I thought he was
whatever.
amazing.
I can't believe we saw Bill Belichick smile.
Well, when he said to Bill Belichick, "Hey man, I see you sneaking out of that girl's house," I guess he got caught.
Hey, you didn't see that?
Didn't see what?
Bill Belichick walking out of the girl's house.
No, I wasn't there.
Belichick
didn't
was
see the video?
so
No, I
awkward,
didn't.
man.
There's ring camera footage of Bill Belichick shirtless walking out of a house at like
What?
6. You haven't seen it?
No, really?
Yeah,
and
dude.
Tom Brady says, I saw you like," because think about it, coach player relationship, for them to be successful, has to be sort of a master student. And there's always some sort of respect. But for one night, at one time, it's like, fuck you, or what? And it's out of love, because all you've done in achieving is because of each other. That's why the roast is so real. But
I
it
love
hurts
Gronk too.
people's
Like, what are you going to do?
feelings.
Make me run the fucking hill?
Yeah, exactly. Well, all that came out, and they would have edited out Randy Moss, maybe. I even enjoyed Kevin Hart.
At times.
I like Belichick. Well, he was like, that game-winning touchdown you threw, and he was like, oh, that was Edelman. Or that other game-winning touchdown you threw, he's like, oh, that was Edelman too.
He is socially awkward, and I think it might be a
Who,
bit
Belichick?
autistic or something.
No, Tom Brady.
All of them. We both agreed that
Well,
Drew Bledsoe
Gronk is
was
a
the
little
best.
more than.
Oh, Gronk is fucking retarded.
Drew Bledsoe should get an Emmy
So
nominee for the hating quarterback who you ruined my life.
when he spikes the glass,
Yeah.
a piece hits a woman in the front row.
Yeah.
And they had to like stop the show, cut.
Oh, it looked like
Go
it.
take
When I saw
care
him
of
do it,
her.
I was like, that's dangerous as shit.
Well, he wasn't supposed to, obviously.
Well, obviously.
And Schulz is so funny. He's like, he wasn't even part of the toast.
Bert and Tom bombed.
Oh, dude, that was the saddest shit I've ever seen.
Wasn't it wild?
Was it great?
It was horrible.
It was really
I mean,
wild.
Bert, first of all, Bert, hold it together. You're famous.
No, he was doing that on purpose.
I
That's
know.
part of his
The whole
shtick.
thing was
It
just-
was so gross.
Yeah.
Those two are so I don't know if you keep up with any of that shit, but they just had a podcast lately where they came out and they're like, listen,
We're cutting the ads. We listened to you. We heard all you said. I saw
but then like Bert's like, yeah, I promise not to like laugh anymore.
No more crying on the
So
show.
they don't even get it. You know what I mean? Like they're so, ugh.
The last time I heard Bert, he had Mickey Mace on. And I was like, what am I doing here?
Mickey Mace, the gambler.
Yeah.
goth. But yeah,
was like,
the
what am
funniest
I-
too
what
is
am I
Mickey.
doing
Mickey
here?
just tells the same stories over and
But
over again.
so well.
Well, he's told them
But here's the
1,000
thing.
times. It's like Bob Lazar.
So we're in Monaco. But here's the thing. We just got on this. Let me bring it back to you. We're on an aircraft carrier in the South Sea playing Russian roulette.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The guns I got from my cousin. Because here's the thing. I was in, and they're great stories, but I don't even know why I'm doing it. But I thought
It's just like we don't know why we're listening to it.
Yeah.
Nikki Glaser already is a superstar.
She's so hot.
She already is a superstar. She killed the roasts.
Yeah.
But Tony really just like when he went down the thing and did the hell no.
Yeah, that was
and just
funny.
lined everyone up. Like
Yeah.
it was I thought it was a king making moment for Tony, and I think he could be.
He's already on top. He was just on the cover of
No,
GQ
he's on top.
magazine. or
He's
whatever.
on top.
Esquire.
Apparently, he Kill Tony is going to be on Netflix. That's the big news, and that's why they were pumping him up so much, and that's why they let him do
makes
that
sense.
whole bucket shtick because it lets people get more into Kill Tony. And it might be a weekly thing. I don't know. It's probably going to be a disaster, but who knows?
But still, I think then they talk sort of at that same time about before all this, it was late night.
Yeah.
So say Johnny Carson before your time, but you know what that is. It's before my time.
Why is he doing this?
Before my time.
It's before my time.
I can't tell you stories about me and my.
Johnny
could've-
Carson, he was on television. You know what that is?
Yes. You could have just said Letterman if you really wanted to treat me like a.
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah, but yes, I'm
Conan.
aware of Johnny
Conan and-
Carson.
Imagine Conan and Jimmy Kimmel.
At least you didn't go all the way back to like who launched the Beatles.
Oh, Dick Cavett or
No. Well, maybe they did. Dick Cavett did. Ed Norton.
Ed Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan.
The Ed
There
Sullivan
you go.
Theater.
Bing, bang,
No,
boom.
I wanted to go back to Johnny.
Johnny?
Just because there was only one.
Yeah.
And then it began now there's three or whatever. And in that, at one point, the late night spot would be the most coveted position a comedian could get. It really was like instead of doing movies or whatever, and that is totally gone away.
No, but it could, like with Kill Tony on Netflix, it could be a star maker.
That's what I'm saying it is. Yeah. And then they talk about the club a lot. Joey's returning. Joey might be moving back to Austin. Very interesting.
Moving to.
He's returning for a month residency or something, but Joe's pretty sure he's going to move back there.
He's not moving back there. He's moving to there. He's never lived in Austin.
That's true.
That's the point
My
Matt's
description was
making to
inaccurate. Yeah.
Thanks, Simon.
Well, he's often is like
He's in his bag.
Well, now we get to
blasting
the
through.
part that I don't know. Do you guys know what's going on between Drake and Kendrick?
I have not been paying any attention.
I've been keeping up. You haven't been keeping up with I feel like he has, and he's just saying that. So say what you want to say.
Well, first of all,
Say
I was
what you want to say.
I was in Vegas for 4 days during like the height of it. So I can promise you I wasn't
But
paying
like
attention
you're
to rap
pretending
beef.
that you don't know what's happening.
I know
You-
that they
do you know
both
there's a
released
beef?
songs and there's a beef, but this is not the first
So that's
time.
that's a lot of information.
4 songs.
I haven't
Believe
heard
it, no,
any
8
of them.
songs. You haven't heard any of them.
No.
We can't talk about this.
Why? Talk about it. I don't give a shit.
No, but you're an expert in rap.
He doesn't want to talk to me about it.
Hmm.
I've watched some videos.
Yeah, but the bar is like,
I mean, Kendrick wins. Kendrick's a
oh,
better
so you
rapper.
know something.
No, I'm telling you from what I know about rap.
Kendrick calls Drake a pedophile.
Probably true.
Drake calls Kendrick
Kendrick
a
short.
woman beater.
Okay.
Oh no, that was the early songs.
And then he's exposing his, is it a daughter he said he didn't have? Or a son?
illegitimate daughter for Drake.
Drake, yeah.
And
And
See,
being a
that's why
bad
Drake,
dad. And
Drake
being a
needs
bad
to
dad.
stop these
That's
beefs
the,
because every time he has a beef, a new kid comes out of the woodwork. It's like,
but they hate him. They like, I hate you the way you walk. Like they say out loud they hate him.
That's the lyrics in the what's his name? Kendrick. It literally starts with like, I hate this guy. I hate the way he walks. I hate the way he sings. I hate his
Oh,
fame.
you've got to hear the. That's
I like that.
I hate listening to Joe Budden and freak out about it. But if they are actually doing this, Coke and Pepsi, like just to cobble an album together, it would be amazing.
They are.
But Drake doesn't need to do that. He can release anything, and it's like, what's her fuck there?
No, but it's like
Taylor Swift.
it's
Like, it doesn't matter. Everybody will buy it.
It's
No, you're
human
wrong.
nature that the society is salivating, or some part of it, about this argument of rapping. But we know rappers are full of shit. Like even Derek was like, Tupac and Biggie, they were real. They weren't.
This is probably
You
just
know-
to take the heat off of Diddy. He like demanded it of them or something.
No, it's all just listen. You want to stay relevant. The best way to stay relevant is have like a couple month beef with two of the biggest rappers.
Sure.
You know that all you're doing is lining each other's pockets. Like even if Drake has 4 kids coming out of the woodworks, he can afford that too.
Unless-
No, but okay. They hate Drake because he talks about thug life.
And he's
And their bottom line is,
And he's a white guy
you
from
are a
Toronto.
white guy. Da da da. That's the whole thing. But all of them are that. They're all just people who
No,
they're
that's not true.
they are not all like ghetto babies or ghetto bastards that
Whoa.
work their way up. No, I'm saying the ultimate archetype of rap is someone born in the ghetto, no opportunities.
Some of them are
learn to
like
write-
that.
A lot of them are.
not
were.
those ones.
Well,
are
that's
dead.
what being famous is. What do you mean were?
Diddy
That's what
wasn't.
you're talking.
They're dead.
Diddy wasn't.
Is what
Diddy
he's saying.
never was.
You
but
can't just name 1 or 2. Like
So,
yeah, Diddy wasn't.
Actually,
Okay.
I defend it. Diddy is just as gangster as Drake.
Okay.
Well, actually, I
It's a
think
weird.
Well, except Diddy
Diddy's-
actually has a
Diddy's having-
reputation
yeah,
of
no,
like fucking people
okay,
up.
Diddy is more.
He's way more gangster than Drake.
Diddy is way more gangster than Drake.
I don't know if there's anything more gangster than fucking dudes.
Way
in the
more
ass.
gangster than Drake. But why are you even saying like Drake isn't gangster?
Drake doesn't have to be gangster because I think for the most part it's art. They're all artists. And how tough someone is, how real what someone says they did to what they're rapping about. in
But
their
there's
life.
there's a whole rumor out there about like Drake putting the hit on somebody in jail. Is it Extacion? No, who was in jail?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the X
there's
Tenta. Oh, sorry, XXX Tentacion.
something.
So apparently that happened, and that's why a lot of people hate Drake too.
That's why I would hate Drake.
That's why you would hate Drake.
But we would
because
like
you're
Drake.
such an avid fan of
Well, he's Canadian.
Who
Tex-
gives a fuck?
Hateki 69.
Do you think- let me-
What's his
do-
name?
no,
Takashi
it-
69.
We do this weird thing where it's like he's Canadian.
Who
Drake
cares?
doesn't give a fuck about you.
No, Canadians don't give a fuck about anything. Is what I'm actually talking about. Like if Drake was,
What a
it'd be
segue.
interesting if
no,
Drake
if
was
Kendrick
American.
if Kendrick was Canadian, I would be fucking amped.
You would be amped.
Yes, but instead it's Drake and The Weeknd. Okay, and that's
Oh no, you're leaving some guys out. We have some like
Are you
serious.
are you
rappers out of
amped? Are you
Canada.
amped? The Jamal
on.
Murrays in the NBA.
Sir Mix-a-Lot?
not
Amped.
Canadian.
Not Canadian. It's somebody like Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Maestro Fresh
Maestro
West.
Fresh West. Thank you.
Let your backbone slide. Name another song of his.
Oh, I cannot.
Okay, excellent.
Private Symphony.
But I can't name another one of the
Conducting
like
things.
Big Bucks guy either.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I think we're losing the point here.
No, I wanted him to name me. He said there's a lot of good Canadian rappers, And I was just
there are
interested.
none. You're right. Well, no, that's not true.
Shad. Ghetto Socks. Shout out to Ghetto Socks.
Canadian, there is no Canadian culture of star worship like there is in America.
The problem is this,
Wars?
Simon.
Star
worship.
worship.
The problem is that all of our gangsters in Canada tend to be like Somalian, and they don't end up being good rappers.
Interesting.
Snow. Snow was huge.
He was huge, but he
He
wasn't a
had
good
one
rapper.
song.
He was Drake. Like no,
He wasn't
actually,
a
he was more.
gangster.
No, he was. He was. He actually went to jail. He's more thug.
I think for like tax evasion or something.
No, I think it's third armed robbery or something. Look that up.
No, I mean he did get hung off the balcony by your
No,
boy
that was Vanilla Ice.
Suge Knight.
That was Vanilla Ice.
So
Not
That's who we're
Snow.
talking about.
No, he was talking about Snow.
but Vanilla Ice is Canadian, right?
No.
Oh no, I'm getting them mixed up. Sorry. Snow in form.
You know when it is snowing down, I go blam.
Does
I
it-
lick it boom boom now.
Yeah, and then
does it matter where
Vanilla
you're
Ice
from?
got hung upside down.
Does it matter where you're from and where you've been?
Yes.
Or does it matter if it slaps?
Because look at the guys from Britain right now. Those
UK drill rappers.
drill rappers.
Yeah.
Those guys are all out there like fucking robbing people and they're hooligans and
Okay,
they're living
so
the
I think
life.
Kamar, here's the
I-
problem.
it's-
Kamar, here's the problem. I agree with what you're saying.
Oh, then,
What
perfect.
you're
Moving
saying
on.
is very
Let's move
simple.
on.
If the rap is, if it slaps, do you give a shit that they actually are about that life?
Yes,
Especially
if you're rapping about shit that you're not living, then it's just corny.
That's where I agree with Simons. Here's the problem: is like, if you're really good at rapping, you don't need gun rap. If you're not about gun rap, then don't gun rap me to death.
Like I'm gonna give you a really good example. Far Side.
Yeah.
Like they didn't need to. They just rapped about shit they thought was funny. They were amazing rappers, and you don't think so? You're crazy.
Fat Lip wasn't an amazing rapper.
Well,
like he's
as
in
part of
one's
the
top
group, he
50.
was
Listen,
really
I love
good.
the Far Side. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, I'm with you, Kamar. But there is something about rap. It's like Joe was saying, like the ghostwriter thing does bother me. Yeah, I think if you're gonna rap and you're gonna call yourself a rapper, you should write all of your own lyrics.
Like now that we know the true story of NWA, it's so different to me. You know?
Do you hate Drake?
No, I wish him
You
the best.
hate Drake?
Oh, I do.
No,
I
I'm
think
not.
he's
You hate
terrible.
Drake. I
His
knew you hate
music
Drake.
stinks.
I am not a big fan of Drake's music.
I've never heard a
I
good
don't-
Drake song in my life.
Oh, come on.
I swear to you.
0 to 100
Do you know why else they hate him?
because they ain't him
Because of the steak.
because of the stake,
Yeah.
the gambling
Because
shit.
all that gambling shit.
He
Who's
was
they?
on
Who's they?
Degrassi
Well,
Junior
right now-
High.
Yeah.
You cannot be
Wheelchair
on
Jimmy.
Degrassi Junior High and then become like the thuggiest gangster in the world. Those two things are impossible.
I mean,
they
Kamar,
are
this is-
polar opposites of each other.
Look, Jake Paul.
No, well, what's
Jake
Simon?
Paul is not a gangster. He's a fucking loser.
What
No,
Simon's
he's a prize fighter.
I don't know. What Simon's saying makes sense though. Is like if this is the thing, if Drake had come out of nowhere and had cornrows and was rapping the way he did, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But the fact that he was on Degrassi, the fact that we have photos of him
We
in like
have a back
acid wash
catalog, man.
jeans, looking Jewy as fuck with glasses on, like
Again, you didn't need to bring that into it.
Yeah.
my point is very simple. A lot of these dudes are from the street, and a lot of them grew up in the street, and it's kind of they find it disrespectful for you to be rapping about the street.
I understand what beef is. I've heard those songs.
Drake should be
I know exactly what they're saying.
Drake should be rapping about like the girls he fucked and the parties he has because those are things he actually does.
He does that.
And it doesn't matter that he was wheelchair Mikey on fucking Degrassi. Like nobody cares. That's how you became famous. Like, but you can't. Nobody's gonna believe. Anyways,
That's why I would not like Drake. But I like Drake because he's Canadian.
let's move
and
on.
he's-
Let's move on. Well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that, but it's like we've just spent so long talking about this.
Let's just move on to Mike Baker, period. You can't have that many fucking notes for this guy, can you?
Drake came back with the last song.
Who
where
are
he
we
said,
even talking about?
I made
Derek
everything up.
Poston.
This is what they talked about. They talked about Kill Tony. They talked
Yeah,
about
I'm not
Club.
mad at you. Hey,
What would've
look at
been
me. Look me in the
nice-
eyes. I'm not mad at you, okay? Keep doing your job. You're
thanks,
doing
buddy.
great, Kamar.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
Nas is coming. Nas is coming to Ottawa. I'm looking forward to that.
Nas and 50. And Killer Mike.
You know who the
Blues Fest is gonna be
third
great.
comedy at the comedy festival is?
The third
The
comedian?
third night.
Oh, so it's Bargatze,
Sebastian.
And, no, Bargatze and
Bill Burr.
no. Bargatze
Tom
and
Segura.
Hold on a sec. That's the second night. Bargatze and Jerry D.
Yeah.
The next night is Tom Segura and
Bobby Ree.
Bobby Lee. The next night is Rife.
Matt Rife.
Yeah, and some other person you haven't heard of.
He'll be good.
I got tickets to Jim Jeffries and Jimmy Carr, though.
That'll be good. That'll be interesting.
there?
That's very
No,
interesting.
they're coming in September to the
Different-
TD place.
different show.
Oh, that's very. Ooh.
I
I
love
love
Jim Jeffries, and I've never seen Jimmy Carr. I really like Jimmy Carr.
I used to
hate
like
that
Jim
venue.
Jeffries. I have no idea what he's up to now.
I like co-headliners. So that'll be interesting if one was better than the other. Like they were just a perfect compliment. I'm sure they figured out. I wonder if they switch orders.
Maybe they're buddies because they both have accents.
Maybe they hate each other and this happened. Of course they're buddies.
hate each other and this happened.
I fucking hate you, okay? Let's go and tour together, you motherfucker. Starts in Ottawa,
Maybe
you fucking
they're
asshole.
agents.
Because nothing to fucking do there will be stuck in the hotel room.
Okay, they're not sharing hotel rooms, so let's take it easy.
Who knows if they're making money, man? No, if they're at this arena, that's huge.
Yeah, like they're obviously this. They don't have to be best friends to have put this together. It could have been they have the same agent.
Dude, I saw an
I
old
think at
Ron.
this age, they'd be good friends.
I saw an old Ron Whitecliffe resurface the other day of him at Just for Laughs, and he's like, he's smoking a cigar, and he's got his drink. He's like, I flew into Ottawa because my agent doesn't own a fucking globe.
Oh, so true.
So,
Anyways,
What did he call it
whatever.
too? He goes, I flew into the Ottawa Hair Care Tire Center and Airport.
Our airport's nice. What are you talking?
No, our airport fucking stinks. Ottawa's the worst.
you know what's even nicer is the one in the middle of nowhere where nobody goes. It's fucking beautiful. Have you ever seen that? I think it's the Pierre Elliott.
I got to be honest.
Are you talking about an airport we have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's in Laval. Anyways, I'll tell you after the show.
Did you say it's in Laval?
It's between here and Montreal,
Okay, so it's not our airport.
but it is the international.
Are you talking
airport.
about Dorval?
No, Pierre Elliott Trudeau Airport.
Forget
Yeah,
it. You
so
don't-
it used to be Dorval, I think,
Okay,
or
sure,
Mirabel, or one of the two. But that's not our airport.
It's
That's
like
a different city.
try to explain technology to the Amish, airports.
That's
flying.
Montreal's fucking airport. It's not our airport.
Aeroport, dude. While I was in the,
Fuck you,
While
man.
I was in the States, I'm with Joe. This country fucking stinks. Like now that Trudeau's introducing this $25,000 you want to leave tax.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get
okay,
there.
sorry,
We'll
sorry.
get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll get to that. But
Let's wrap this fucking guy up then, because I don't want to talk about Mike Baker for too long.
Dice told him to hit the road. He's that's a huge moment in his career.
You're quoting a Joeism to us?
Joeism. Oh, you'd done that before this one? Oh, no. What I wanted to say in conclusion, I
Just
really
wants to
wish we
hear
could have got
himself
to know
talk.
Derek Poston. But it's just him doing the positive thing and bigging everyone up. And every time his best friend Brian gets another accolade, he goes, next one's you. And then he goes, I hope one day to be headlining. And Joe's like, yeah, if we only knew someone who could do that for you. But it was a weird just sort of tete-a-tete. Do you think they've crossbred every single animal?
Like in China.
Somewhere, somehow, somewhere.
Well, I think some can't crossbreed. So
Well, and that's how they
Everyone
know
that
that
can,
because they've
they've
tried,
tried,
every
yep.
other possible fucking thing. And if that wasn't like set in moral compass, how crazy the
I
world
don't
would
think
be.
they've tried to crossbreed every animal. I think they crossbreed animals that they know have a chance of, like donkeys and horses. And I don't think they're out there crossbreeding fucking
Octopus and a monkey.
chickens with fucking, yeah, exactly. Chickens with donkeys or whatever.
Make the panda fuck the sloth.
That would be interesting.
Because
though,
eventually
could
you
still-
want them to fuck each other. That's
No, but you could do an artificial insemination, so it's not even like I can't imagine a donkey fucking a moose.
Oh, yeah,
Well, you can't,
yeah.
but
I just think they would want to do things that had some purpose.
I think they would put everything in every egg that they possibly could.
Just throw it at the wall and see what happens.
Go.
Like you want like an elephant horse.
An elephant horse, sure. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking like, things that you could
Yeah,
like make
yeah,
better,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it's an elephant, but more agile, faster.
A toy,
100%.
a toy grizzly.
Oh, there you, yeah, perfect. Little pocket
Koala
grizzly. Pocket
Koala
grizzly, yeah.
Koala grizzly.
Oh, wow.
Hilarious.
A grizzly bear just ripped
Sounds
on
adorable.
eucalyptus all
Koalas
day.
are pretty vicious already, I hear.
Well, unless they're high on eucalyptus, which is most of the time.
They also have chlamydia, and that would make you angry. So it's really like a tight balance of
being high
This
and
thing just
angry because of
not-
your
yeah.
STD. Yeah.
It's like Kamar.
A bobcat fish.
A bobcat fish.
Why?
Why not?
It just sounds funny to say.
You didn't get the game.
I guess.
I made up the game.
Yeah, and then you didn't get it, but that's fine.
I mean, maybe that's what Bigfoot is. Maybe it's an experiment of a human and a gorilla or something.
Not even an experiment. It's one guy who's just really
well,
embarrassed
yeah,
about him
exactly.
fucking some animal in the woods.
A gorilla Leslie.
A gorilla. That's how you should decide on what animals get made, is if they have names that go well together.
Yeah. A gorizzly.
An octopanda. That's a panda with 8 arms. That's actually pretty cool.
A dolphin puss.
I mean, that
That sounds
doesn't
really
Just a floating
that sounds
vagina.
Like,
just
that sounds like
just
an
the
angel.
wettest
Yeah, exactly.
vagina rolling through the water.
Yeah, the two big things of the week we're talking about was the roast and Kendrick and Drake's beef. They talked about it. Then the rest of the time was that weird interclub banter about how just doing it, keeping the material fresh and grinding and following out your heart. And
Is Derek posted on the clock? Because according to you,
no,
somebody who gets talked about so much on the show should be wildly famous and rich.
What I always think
now
about
he's on the clock.
is Jeremiah loving his decision.
Jeremiah Watkins?
Yeah, and what was that
To
decision?
leave
Or
Kiltony?
was he asked to leave?
I think they were not invited to go to Austin, or maybe they declined to go to Austin. I don't know.
I think they were afraid of COVID and they were like, you guys are too crazy. I have a family. My name's Jeremiah. I'm mediocre. I don't want to be part of this.
My
watched-
name's
your success.
Jeremiah.
I just watched 2 things actually. One was like a 2-hour compilation of all the funniest band moments on Kiltony, and the other was like an hour-long compilation of the best. Who's the drummer?
Joel Jimenez.
Joel Jimenez. Yeah, his best moments. Hilarious. They were so funny. The band.
I know, but I feel like those are like the guys that were in the Beatles right now.
Yeah, totally.
And that's the story that is most prominent for me. And also, what's the secret sauce? It's the most successful live podcast in the world.
Well, yeah, but there aren't that many live podcasts.
Yeah, but is all we had to stop at. And who's there driving that truck?
Brian Redband.
Crazy. It really is crazy. And Canadians and Americans are different. We don't see what a gem Brian Redband is.
What if you found out Brian's grandfather was like deep in the CIA? Would that change?
he's
Would that
related-
change everything?
I don't think it changed for me. I think me, obviously.
Simon, hold on. Does that change? it?
I mean, it would make a shitload of sense.
You know who would know if he was in the CIA?
Mike Baker.
Yes, he would.
I give that one a 2.
Yeah, but
and a
he'd
half,
never
by the
tell
way.
you.
2.5 for Derek. You gonna rate it?
I'm going to give it a 2. I mean, he seems like a great guy. I'm with Kamar. I would have liked to have gotten to know him. I still know nothing about him, and it's his 3rd time on the podcast.
2147 Mike Baker.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, Matt, you're going to want to be here for this. I'm here. I'm right here. Okay. I'm going to ask you, how many times do you think Mike Baker, what appearance was this for Mike Baker? I know. Do you know?
13th.
Kamar, what's your guess?
I was trying to do the math. How often does your handler have to come on in 12 years?
Well, he's not as close as Gad Sad is, so I'm going to say 9.
I believe this was his 19th
No
appearance
way. Get
on
out.
Joe Rogan, which may be the most for a non-comedian.
Undebated?
I'm going to check right now. Hold on a second.
Undebated.
Here's the list of people being on, okay? And this is excluding fight companions.
Yeah.
Okay, Brendan Schaub,
We knew
40,
that, yeah.
number 1.
That's
We've been here
insane.
before. We've been here before.
Eddie Bravo. Oh, no, sorry. Not number 1. He's not number 1. He has 40. Why did they do it in this order? Eddie Bravo, 43. Brian Callen, 53.
How the show has changed.
Ari Shafir, 66. Joey Diaz, 59.
Yeah.
Duncan Trussell, 59. Brian Redband, 53. Tom Segura 43, Burt Kreischer 37, Hinchcliffe 27, Fitzsimmons 23, Aubrey Marcus 18.
Chris?
So tied for that is
The bike maker.
Mike Baker, yeah. Tom Papa 19, Cameron Hayden 17, Mike Baker 18, Gillis 16, Ranella 15, Christopher Ryan 14, and they all came in like the first 3 years of the podcast. And yeah, Graham Hancock 12. How many times do you think Suzanne Santo has been on?
5.
No, think about it.
I don't know. 9.
5, 12.
12 times. That is 11 too many.
She's been on one less time than Tim Dillon and the same amount of times as Graham Hancock.
Yeah, she's never going to make it. Sorry.
It's crazy that Mark Normand, who's on Parks and Rec, has only been on the podcast 14 times.
including.
Including, yeah. Like, because before that, he'd only probably been on twice.
What isn't Dom Irera up there?
Yeah, Dom Irera 11, Dave Smith 11. Yeah, but they're they're comedians. So
not Dave Smith.
non-comedians, Mike Baker is tied for one with Joe's like business partner and best friend. So
What about
That
Shane
is wild.
Smith?
he's not on there. He was only on like 6 times, wasn't he?
Again, a very good friend of Joe's.
Like, best friend.
That was a crazy episode.
Almost as good a friend as Gad
Join the
Saad.
Patreon to hear that. We do that. This is on Age Well. Shane Smith and Joe, when they think they're about to take over the world.
18 times. And I think it might be his 19th. I don't think that's quite up to date. He might be the most now. He might have passed Aubrey Marcus.
Do you think CIA has anything over like what movie studios would have as far as design for disguises? And Mike Baker tell you it's simple. Sometimes you wear a hat.
Dude,
A disguise doesn't.
I love how he was like, it's really just about how you move, Joe. Like, I was picturing him in like, the best was he's like, well, I don't know if you know this, Joe, but I spent a lot of time in the Middle East and I don't exactly blend in over there. And I literally pictured him with like taped on pubic hair to his face. Like,
No,
Like Borat.
no. I imagine he gets dressed up like a Mormon, like the white with
Like
the
a
black
missionary?
eye. Yeah, missionary.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think
I don't think.
like Mission Impossible is the coolest if that's what they have stuff we see right now, right?
Oh, like the mask ripoff. That's what.
The other thing is plastic surgery, but that's another level. That's ridiculous. That does happen, I'm sure.
So I don't think Joe's like compromised by the CIA.
Why are you
something-
blinking?
But something's going on, right?
Why are you winking at
Like
me?
Mike Baker 19
Why
times.
are you winking? Stop winking.
And on this episode, he was like, well, if you knew, you wouldn't even tell us anyways. So what the fuck are we doing here? Why have this guy on if you're aware that he's still CIA and he won't tell you anything?
Because he needed to tell you about the protests in the Middle East.
So
To a point where Joe said, thank you so much for breaking down the Middle East to me. And him going, well, you know what? You're welcome.
Yeah.
thank you so
I got
much.
you,
This
Joe.
is the best that anyone's ever broken it down.
You're welcome. I agree. I concur, Joe. I did just do that for you. But
Well, no, then he said, Kamar, if you actually listen to the episode, he said, thank you so much, Joe. Could I take this opportunity to shameless plug myself? Use those words exactly, and then proceeded to talk about his State of the Union address show.
which he said is all facts, no opinion.
Oh, yeah, right.
And occasionally I give my opinion.
You know-
and I've listened to it, and all he does is give his fucking
And you know what's hilarious?
another thing that it's Americans
This is what's hilarious to me is that these journalists who do these shows like this, they're like, yeah, there's no opinion, but I choose the stories we talk about.
That's
It's
a journalist.
the same fucking thing,
but
man.
that's a journalist.
You're fucking deciding what we're talking about.
That's a journalist. This is a CIA agent.
Yeah, sorry, but he is also a TV
CIA
personality.
agent.
But he's also now pivoting into doing interviews. And he was like to Joe, Joe, I'm a 30-year-old CIA agent, 30 years of a CIA agent, you know, having to interrogate people, interview people, find out what's going on in someone without even knowing what I'm doing. But do you have any tips on how to ask questions? Like,
Yeah, I've had enough of this guy.
Joe is the greatest interviewer of all time. Joe is now whatever Carson was, whatever anything could be. And then
What does that mean to you to be a great interviewer?
Howard Stern was there for a bit, but just right now it's him.
Like,
Someone
let
else
me-
will come
let-
along.
I disagree that Joe is
and-
the greatest interviewer
I
of all
disagree as
time.
well.
I think
Ron
the great,
Pennington is mine.
I think the greatest interviewer of all time, has to have a pretty big platform. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But they have to be able to get the most out of their guests. And I don't feel like Joe does that because the same guy will go on Lex. Lex asks better questions and gets more out of them.
Lex maybe.
And listens a lot more. Lex listens 90% of the time and talks 10. Joe listens 50% of the time and talks 50.
Lex might be the best.
Well, Lex also comes, like, if you look, Lex has 6 pages of notes ready to go. And I think that actually might help Lex as opposed to,
Well, it would
like,
help
Joe's.
everyone, Matt.
Yeah.
Lex
I'm just saying,
might be the best.
like, let me ask you, do you think Nardwar is a good interviewer?
yes, he's my favorite.
I mean, that's a whole different thing.
See, I disagree. I don't think he's a good interviewer.
That's fine.
You're just talking about him like surprising the people or his actual interviews?
Well, this is my point, is I think a good interviewer, like, Nardwar just gives them everything. You don't get a lot out of them except reactions. It's him dropping
but
gems
him
on them.
doing that to them opens them up.
I did-
And it cracks him. And as you were saying that, I was thinking, okay, another good interviewer would be Sean Evans. That same thing with the Heat.
The
makes
Wings?
it person
Yeah.
vulnerable. Exactly.
Why did he get canceled?
Who?
Sean Evans.
He got canceled.
Didn't he?
I don't know, but
I don't think Sean Evans is such a great interviewer either.
So you think Lex is the best?
You know who's probably a good interviewer? The all gas, no brakes guy.
Callahan, Andrew
Yeah.
Callahan.
He seems to be able to get things out of people.
He is a good interviewer, actually.
You know who's a good interviewer?
Go on.
Interviews the people on Skid Row there.
Oh, Mark Leda. Mark Leda is a great interviewer.
Getting
That's a
people
great
to
point.
admit things about themselves that they
Underweight
wouldn't
belly?
otherwise admit.
Soft white
That
underbelly.
makes you an amazing interviewer.
You know why he's actually a great interviewer,
there.
too? He says almost nothing.
Almost nothing.
It's
you
like
have
four. He just lets them run wild.
The very best interviewers say nothing. They ask
make a good
poignant
point.
questions and
he's
then
the
let
best.
the people go.
He's
I'm
the
sure
best.
there's someone historically we're missing. Like probably written interviews, like a rolling, like an old rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure there are other
Jack
people
Rose.
we're missing
Jack Rose.
just in
Was it
the
Jack
pop
Rose?
culture world.
Sure, but I agree with you. I think off the top of my head, you might be right.
Joe-
Charlie
and
Rose.
I'll take it back. You don't have to have a huge show. I don't know why I said that. But Joe,
You have to have a huge show if you want to interview very big people.
well, it doesn't make you the greatest interviewer.
No, and
is
I
what I'm saying.
agree,
I
yeah.
don't know why I said that. Joe,
because
what Joe does is different. Joe is like a talk show host. You wouldn't expect those people to be like somebody goes on Letterman for 5 minutes or whatever it is. You don't expect the best thing out of them.
Well, no, you know they're coming with a prepared bit. It's
Well,
all,
that's different too, I guess. But like Joe's, it's just different. He talks so much that you're never going to get the most out of a guest.
I think if Joe did one podcast a week, the show would be much better.
And did a lot of research for that podcast.
It doesn't have to be research. It's just the repetitiveness of topics throughout the week makes it tough for you to truly gauge how he is as an interviewer, because you're like, well, he talked about this last week. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of topics get beat to death.
Yeah.
And
I know what you're saying.
And if he did just one a week, I feel like there would be a wider variety of talking points, maybe.
Or Joe feels, and this isn't a knock on Joe. This is just his personality. He has to talk a lot.
Yeah, I do too. I get it.
Would he then not have that outlet? So every episode would be like,
No, because he's still a comedian. Like, I get what you're saying. I think I understand where you're at. Like, if you have no other outlet,
then every episode he's just going to tell the same stories about, oh, he does that anyways.
that's my point.
Everyone does it though. If you listen to enough people doing podcasts.
No, you're right. Listen, that's but that's kind of goes to my point, is like when you're releasing 12 to 14 hours of content a week, you kind of get starved for, most people don't have a wide enough net of interests. I mean, Joe's actually lucky enough that he does have a wide enough net of interests. And like, as we find out in Sebastian, you know what, the interesting thing, and I hate to jump forward, but like with Sebastian, you can really tell that Joe is like a different breed of person. Like Sebastian is us. Sebastian is the rest of us, where Joe was like, it seems like you're interested in it. Why don't you dive deep into it? And Sebastian's like, I don't know, I just like a cursory kind of, that's everyone.
You see that thing you just said? Hey, last.
Yeah. No, but that's it. It's like most people are Sebastian, where it's like, yeah, I'm into this, but I'm like not into it like that. Whereas Joe's like, I'm into it. I bought 50 books. I spent 15 grand on gear, and now I spend my weekends whittling wood. You know what I mean? Like,
Sidebar.
Yeah.
Let's just put a pin on that.
sorry.
In the Chris Stefano one,
Yeah.
I swear to God, he tells the exact same story. But now this time it adds on this now is why I'm best friends with the Mets owner. I swear to God.
Yeah, he did.
On Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Who, Chris DiStefano?
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes into he's very bitty.
bitty.
Yeah.
Well, we're all bitty.
Bitty.
Bit
If
bitty.
you got bits, you got to do your bits.
He goes on a lot of podcasts and bitty. It's bit.
Yeah, it's a bit bitty.
And
a
Mike
bit bitty.
Baker's like,
bit bitty it up.
I look like I'm fucking a monkey's uncle. Like he invents his
Mike Baker is that's who we're talking about.
Yeah.
And Mike Baker is the fucking worst. So that's what I was saying before Kamar interrupted me. No, I'm just joking. I'm not joking.
There was one point where Mike Baker. Go ahead.
Oh my god. Mike Baker. I fucking will kill you. Mike Baker there must be something going on that he gets to come on so much. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's the CIA, asshole. We've discussed this
No,
ad nauseum.
But seriously, like, I don't think Joe is compromised, but something. This is
Something in your
ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Okay. One thing that I will say is the attack on the masks. When I see someone in a mask, I'm like, oh, whatever, you're in a mask.
Oh my God.
But I do remember before people would wear masks.
Yeah.
I noticed
I
it,
lived
but
in New York City.
In,
Saw it
in
a
big
lot.
cities, I saw a lot. So
When I see
I will
a
give that to
person
mask
wearing
wearers.
a mask now, I don't even understand.
But I do because me and Matt said before this, people wear masks. It's not completely foreign to me.
But you got to feel bad for those people. The people that were wearing masks beforehand.
Where were you?
Well, no, because now, like you, Simon, like that person might have been wearing a mask for 10 years before COVID, where you, like Kamar saying, you might have just like been like, whatever. But now you're like still wearing a mask, you pussy.
If you want to come into a store and you're worried for some reason, you want to put your mask on, all the power to you. Outside, it just has always defied logic, and people alone in their cars. I can't tell you the amount of times I see that.
People just forget about it and they're terrified. They're driving for their lives to get back to the
Do
quarantine.
they think that their car
quarters.
is going to give them COVID? Because I don't think it works like that.
You know what I noticed? There was two people in that poker tournament I played. There was two people wearing masks, and I was not a big fan of it.
That's cheating, and
Well,
they
Daniel
do
Le-
that to get the advantage.
Daniel Negreanu actually went off this year about it. He was like, now that masks are gone, they should be gone. Because he's like, if you're wearing a hood and a mask, just play online. He's like, this is a different game. He's like, the live game is specifically about facial tells.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's ridiculous.
it's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Mask and a hoodie.
But Simon, you've been going on and on like, why is Mike Baker here? And he's here because of the protests and the war in Ukraine and the war in Gaza. Because we need to get to the bottom of this. And if Dave Smith is busy, we can bring in Mike Baker.
Well, what did you learn this week, Kamar?
Well, the student protests is interesting in that if it is this funding, it's almost sort of like 12 Monkeys. Because they talk about the students are there and they interview some of them. They don't know what they're doing, but these people, and they have names and stuff, show up at, like they're consulting with so and so. Someone doesn't have a life that they can just drop. Like there's paid people to start or fuel, organize, tell protesters what they can and cannot do to some degree, and then they go overboard.
But why? You were at a protest like a year and a half ago.
That was the if those students had, imagine they had trucks.
But what's the difference?
Well, it was just inability to move it. And also, did you see how many police they had in New York? It was like 20,000 police officers, something ridiculous. Because the whole issue, even with the protests here, is you cannot have too many more people than the arresting officers. Or they try to arrest someone, and someone tries to jump
mob.
on them,
Yeah.
and then a guy shoots, and it goes horrible, beyond control. So you have to have more numbers.
Can I tell you an analogy from another place? So I can't be talking about anybody here because I'm talking about somewhere else. You know what I mean?
I don't like where you're going or how you started this, but go ahead.
Just remember
He's about to talk about us.
No, I'm talking about somewhere else. I'm talking about France.
Okay.
So in France,
The
their immigration was so lax for a while that they let in so many people that they now outnumber the people who actually live in France. That they had to make a law about the voting to make sure, because otherwise the people who move there would just elect in their own officials and they have the numbers to win the elections. Like they fucked up. It was literally that moment for the French where they're like, they knew they fucked up. You know, when you see
Well, we've
that
done
on,
that, yeah.
on-
It was at that moment that he knew he fucked up.
that's right. That that happened literally to France.
We're in the midst of doing that ourselves.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about somewhere else. I'm talking about France.
I said you are.
Yeah, but we are currently about to we're 20 years away from Sharia
we
law.
can't talk about that.
Oh, I'm talking
But
about
We're
it.
talking about somewhere else. We're talking about France.
Trudeau last week came out and said that they're going to introduce Sharia banking for
That was 2 weeks ago, yeah, because they don't believe in
they don't believe in loans.
usury. I don't believe in taxes, so
You know how you go to like Little Italy and there'll be like Italian restaurants, and then you'll go
Yes,
to
we
like
understand the concept of
Chinatown.
Little Italy. Yeah,
Chinatown, there'll be Chinese restaurants, and then even there's some other.
yeah. You go to Little Jerusalem and there's
Well, I don't think there's a Little Jerusalem. That's weird
that's
that
called-
you would go there.
Okay.
Anyways, but have you noticed lately that there's like
Little Jerusalem is usually the richest
there's
neighborhood.
a Little Middle East now? Have you noticed that?
Little Middle East.
Yeah,
Ottawa.
and no, but
Are we in it?
they have a mini mall. They have mini malls, you know, like in Little
Plural.
Italy, maybe there's a mini mall, and in it are like an Italian noodle maker and
You can tell this guy knows nothing about Italian. Look at him.
a paint shop and I don't know.
There's
somewhere
a
that
spaghetti
sells
vendor. There's a plumber.
stained
There's a
glass. Yeah, exactly. You get what I'm saying though, right? And then you go to there and it's like pistachio maker.
Hello.
And no, but it's so random. Like they have a pistachio shop. There aren't enough people in the world to keep a pistachio shop afloat.
You would
What a
think.
weird flex.
No, but in this mini mall, so there's a weed store.
Where is it? Just tell us where this mini mall
It's just up Bank Street. Anyways, it's in a mini mall owned by, this is the best part.
Yeah.
It's owned by Sadeh. Have you ever seen this? They're buying up like real estate in the city.
No.
They have a logo that looks like it would be a
Swastika.
no. It looks like it would be like the symbol for pick
Pick an Indian
organization,
country.
not Indian. Anyways, so they have a pistachio store,
Yeah.
and then they have
Hold on. They only sell pistachios?
Matt. They only sells pistachios. It makes zero sense. They're all fronts. That's what I'm getting at, man. Like,
Get to that. Get to that. Please. To move forward.
oh fuck. Okay, you know what? Fuck off. You know what? Go.
And
go.
beside that is a baklava shop.
Well, I just wanted to give you the diverse
beside that,
range.
there's a
There is a
turkey shop.
baklava shop. It's crazy.
He names every
But then they
store.
also have like a sushi place, but then they name it some weird like,
Al Halal Sushi.
and you're like, this doesn't even make any sense.
Yes, it does. It
Well,
does.
I will point you in the direction of France, which is nothing like here because it's happening somewhere else. But
No, it's
just
happening here.
as an
I feel
example.
like you're trying to use some sort of.
With all due respect to the little Middle East,
But the
good
one,
luck with your pistachio shop.
The one thing that Joe, I do not think knows about
This is Jew
Trudeau.
laughing at the Arabs. Look at this.
Trudeau and being in power and Canadians choosing him is, I don't know if he understands that it is a coalition government.
I was thinking that
It's
too.
the two weaker sides
Yeah.
joined together. And
Yeah.
so it's actually a minority.
Yeah, we have a different system than
And
them.
then he could separate himself and say, well, okay, it's not all Canadians. And I mean, we're going through some crazy shit right now.
You'd think he
In
could.
Joe's defense.
You'd think he could work it out though, because didn't Trump get most of the popular vote? And who was it got? Remember there was
I think I understand what you're talking about, but
remember it was like someone had more electoral votes and they got in. I don't know if it was Biden or if it was Trump against Hillary.
it feels different
It was
because
Hillary against Trump.
they don't even have that option.
Trump against Hillary, whatever. Yeah. and
Yeah.
Hillary against
But you know
Trump.
what I mean, right? It was
Sorry, can I just tell you something? This is so interesting. I just thought about that. So I was telling you about in Ottawa, we have this little Middle East now. It's up Bank Street.
yeah. Little Middle East.
Right now, it's the little Middle East. There's a lot of Middle Eastern things around there. Like I told you, the pistachio shop at the cannabis store and the sushi restaurant, and the baklava mart.
The mosque.
I swear to you,
Yeah.
it used to be none of those places were there.
Yeah.
It was only Rito Bakery, which is the most famous Jewish bakery in. No. Get this.
Bethlehem.
They go out of business. Rito Bakery 2 years ago, and all of a sudden it becomes little Middle East. That's insane,
It's
right?
Bakerside.
They're just trying to take up everything. They're like, you took fucking, guess what?
It's like
Is that from the river to Mooney's
it's
Bay?
like Jerusalem. That's terrible. You can't joke about that.
I just did.
You can't joke about that. And you shouldn't be laughing.
Oh, it's fucking
That's not
hilarious.
funny.
From the river to Mooney's Bay.
For anybody who's interested, Mooney's Bay is our version of the sea.
Then they talked about Trump. Are you guys following that at all?
No, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we really don't give a
But
shit.
it's so embarrassing what they're going to court and the money they spent, what they said that happened, that it's, again, I would just say there'd be something, he did something worse than what he did not do here.
What Joe said is absolutely correct, though. By the left doing this, you're just opening the door for the right to now do this.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
You are making a mockery of your own political system. It's literally a fucking, what do they call that? Monkey.
Kangaroo court.
Kangaroo court. It is a fucking kangaroo court.
It's a monkey court.
It's a monkey court.
Then we got to the Chinese cars. Have you seen the car that Joe is talking about?
I think so, yeah.
It drives on these bumps, like speed bumps you see on a road with glasses on the hood.
Crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. And it's also crazy that Mike was talking about, if possible, AI jets. So now G-force is out of the way. More maneuvers as humans could not do. The big problem with the jets, though, if you look at their performance, they can only fly for like an hour.
Yeah, what if they're electric, though?
Well, this would be something, or nuclear, but it is still like,
Why would electric be better?
Well, I imagine.
Electric doesn't get more mileage. Like your gas car
I was thinking,
goes farther than a-
like LED lighting, you know?
Okay, well, I don't know how lights are going to help. I wish I could get there.
think about
The jets are probably built like that,
2024,
Kamar.
you still need a giant explosion to get a thing up into the firmament.
Yeah, and that's all because you have to send a man up there. If you were sending, like if you had a jet, let's say, and all you needed it for was to kill things, and you didn't have to
is
protect
all
a
we need them
man
for.
inside. No, you could probably build that totally differently than you build the jets
Okay,
now.
so that's one challenge. The other challenge is I saw this one, it had a gun that was like 20 feet long and shot, I don't know, 38 of these huge rounds a minute or something. And it made that sound, you've heard it.
Yeah, the Hellfire. Yeah.
But even it can only carry so much
Warthog.
ammo. Like
Not a
if
Hellfire,
the ammo is
Warthog.
some sort of phaser or like a power,
Well, think about how they had
The
to
actual
drop like the
physical-
atomic bomb.
you can
know
only
what I
carry
mean?
so much bombs in a
It's
bomber.
just so fucking. Those bombs were so huge. You would have one.
Yeah, just a big bomber.
There are limitations to our technology.
Only because we have humans driving them, though. I think that gets rid of now that
It's
we have
the
drones
weight, it's the
driving them.
fuel, it's the weapons. They once they develop something like a laser sort of phaser.
You don't know that they don't have that already.
Oh, they definitely have that. That's how they started the Hawaii fires. What are we talking about here?
Even then, Kamar, we heard the guy talk about that fucking thing they killed one of the terrorists with, where it's like a blade that comes out that goes silently like through the wall. Remember they
my
were talking
friend,
about that?
you saw fucking. Oh, did you ever watch it?
My friend, you
The
saw
three planet problem. What's it called?
Three body
Three
problem.
body problem.
Free Body Property.
Did you ever watch it?
I didn't finish.
So
it, I'm
you
sorry.
didn't see the cutting machine?
No.
Okay, well, Matt, there's a machine in this. It's a nano. That's what the girl is one of the girls is working on. And it literally, there's a scene where it's like this. Think about it as like a nano razor cord.
I understand.
And it literally just goes through a
I remember that part
war
through the
scene and fuck. Oh, you saw that?
Well, no, I saw where it cuts the diamond at the beginning. Remember where she's demonstrating it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of that now going through like a battlefield.
Yeah.
Just cutting everything in half. All the machinery, all the people, yachts, fucking
Yachts in the
well, no, because
battlefield.
they did it to a. They were using it to stop a ship that was coming in or something, and they cut it in half. It's great, dude.
It's crazy.
They have
Earth
that.
and Fallout.
Think about the Havana syndrome. Remember that at the beginning they were like, "This doesn't exist," and
Yeah.
now they know it exists. That's a thing where they shoot
I'd like to
fucking
believe you that they have
noise
these
at
weapons.
someone to kill them. Like, come on!
I'd like to believe you that they have these weapons, but Mike didn't know about them, so
Yeah.
they're just theories right now.
Mike Baker's either the dumbest human being on earth, or he's current CIA.
He did mention the one thing which I didn't look into, but I wonder about, is that he said in the Korean War, the Americans got taken back from the MiG jet fighters. So they had the older planes, he said, and then all of a sudden the Russians showed up and they had the MiGs, and they were, I think that made a difference in them losing that war, not winning that war, not accomplishing their goals as it was.
That's crazy. Is that true?
And they would not say, hey, by the way, America, we're having more trouble than we thought in Korea because the Russians have these crazy new jets that we didn't account for. And they wouldn't say that.
That was
not.
Korea, or it was World War II? that he
Mike
said?
said it was
Korea.
a Korean War.
No, they wouldn't have had those. They wouldn't have had MiGs in World War II.
So let me get this straight. The Americans who have a military that spends more than anybody on earth went into the Vietnam War.
Korean War. This is a different war.
Korean
which you
War
don't hear about.
with propeller planes, and all of a sudden the Russians came in with MiG jets.
That's what he was talking about.
You'd be in a lot of
That
trouble.
seems in fucking sane.
I mean, don't forget the German tanks were way better than the.
The German everythings were way better.
No, I know. The U.S. just had more of them. They said for every four German tanks, the Americans had 5.
I find that really hard to believe. That sounds like a
Mike
story
Baker said
that
it,
the
so.
Americans would tell to be like, look what we did with our propeller planes.
No, but they lost.
they
No,
lost.
they didn't tell it.
Yeah, that's what
the
Kamar's
whole
saying.
point is.
Kamar's saying they got
lost
pushed
the Korean
back.
War?
What he got at me is the American Armed Forces or the Air Force shit their pants and said, we are not spending enough on military. Werner, get on it or whatever. I don't know what it is. But now they have jet planes and military budgets. I was looking at that. Do you know that
I find that hard to believe.
our government budget is 20%?
Hold on, that sentence doesn't make any sense.
Of what?
20% of the whole government that runs Canada.
The federal government puts 20% of
20% of all the
taxings
money.
into
In America, it's
Into
10%.
what?
the military. Into the military.
No,
not-
that's not what he's talking about.
Just to run a socialist government with all the programs is 20% of the GDP or whatever.
So it puts 20% of its taxable monies back into itself, is what you're
Yeah.
saying? Well, it has to pay its employees.
Yeah. And in America, it's 10%, but then they put the rest of that money into military. And that would have happened around this time, World War II. Are you following?
So if we had no, I'm not following at all.
It's either you put your money into social services. We're a way more leaning socialist country like a Sweden or Denmark, whatever.
Or you put it into your military.
Wouldn't have mattered. We have even the 20% that we collect is a fraction of the 10%.
Of that they spend in America. Well, yeah, it's just bigger.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is like even if we had decided we're not going to socialize medicine or whatever, and put that money into our military would be nowhere close to theirs still.
Yeah, and I'm an anti-war person, so I don't even believe him. I don't think that's good spending. What I was getting at, and we can get this quick before Simon comes back, is I feel like phasing out the federal government.
Yeah, you mentioned that 2 weeks
They
ago.
take care of passports. And everything else is sort of could be done on a provincial level. Like
Well, the problem is then we're not a country, really.
I know, but it's so weird how small our population is to such a big thing when you look at other places, and the 5 countries you could fit in Canada are completely different.
I get it. I mean, we have a cold issue that makes it very difficult to live in most of the country. But my point is, like, where does then, like, let's use Nunavut as an example.
Why do people live there?
Okay, that's a fine. Sure, I'm not saying you're wrong, but like if you're from there,
Figure it out. You would stay there because it's so bountiful. But when it's $40 for a can of tomatoes, I don't know why people
no.
still live
Listen,
there.
I'm not disagreeing with you, okay? But people do live there, and I guess my point is like, you know, as a country, the idea of the federal government is that, you know, Ontario brings in extra money, so maybe we give a bit to Nunavut. I don't know. I'm not saying, Kamar, I agree with you. The federal government is a huge waste of money. Okay.
Well, they have to do passports. Someone told me there's something else they got to do. Passports, borders, but I think every province could just do that. I really think the federal government is like this archaic, overgrown leech on the country now. Because military, I guess they have to control that. Oh, the federal courts.
I was going to say the Supreme Court. That's the
Supreme
only
Court.
time you would need the federal
Passports,
government.
the Supreme Court. There's one more someone said.
Oh, CSIS. That's another one.
CSIS. That could be broken into all the provinces and they could all...
You know, I think you want a unified...
Well, they have that and it still doesn't work, as we know. The Royal Canadian Police, which is sort of a disaster.
They ride horses.
Horsey riders.
They ride horses.
Anyways,
It's ridiculous. I'm just saying, it's not hard to cancel.
As a visionary, if I was leader, I'd be like, I mandate that the federal government phases itself out in 20 years.
You have to have, though, like, because then you might have provinces saying, like, well, we're bigger than you, so we'll do. You have to have somebody keeping control over all the provinces.
Do you?
Bigger than who?
Let's say
believe
Ontario
you
decides
control.
that
Why does anyone
we
need
want
control?
we want what's next to it, Manitoba. You know what I mean? We want to take this piece of land in Manitoba. Who's going to stop them if there's nobody?
But why would a province want more land? I don't
Why
get it.
wouldn't they? Why wouldn't
The government should have no control. Remember that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, though.
You just said the government needs the control, and they don't.
I'm not. I'm saying they need to be there in case there's a dispute amongst the provinces. I'm not
Why
saying they
can't
should control anything.
No, the
just-
provinces have
I mean,
to
what
figure
you're
it
saying
out.
is very odd. I'm not going to lie.
Why is that weird? Okay, think about the states. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much what the federal government should be there for in the
It should
United
go
States.
too, but it has a massive
Should be
military,
in
so it's
case
different.
like Texas decides we want to fucking take out New Hampshire. You know what I mean? You have some checks and balances against the states attacking each other. What is that so weird to you?
Well, because you're talking about civil war, and there hasn't been a civil war.
Because we have federal governments.
That's the craziest
That's
fucking
the
thing
o-
I've ever heard.
I
You
don't
truly
think-
believe that the only reason there's no civil war in North America is because of the federal government?
Because the federal government controls the military. 100%.
That's what how about this one?
100%. That's why it is in the States.
The
If they
military
didn't-
can't be used on us. That's not what the military is
How about
for.
this
It
one?
did.
How about
It
this
did.
one?
It can.
No, listen
When?
to this. Listen to this.
When during the trucker rally.
This is it.
They didn't use the military?
Yeah, he did.
No, he did. He didn't have to.
But he passed the bill so he could.
He said everything's on the table. The military said we
Everything's
will
on the
not do
table.
it.
Everything's on the table.
But no, what were we just talking about?
You guys are
the
missing
protest.
the big picture here.
I always think about this. January 6th.
Yeah.
All these protesters. Do you think they were pro-gun or anti-gun?
I think some were pro and some were anti.
I believe most of them were pro-gun.
Probably, yeah.
And so on that day,
Being real.
on that day, they decided we're going to overthrow the country, but we're not going to bring our guns because that's illegal. That's a weird one. I mean, if you're going to overthrow the
I
country,
think we're all in agreement that January 6th
it's January shit.
was the
I don't
sham.
think everyone was there
January
to
sham.
overthrow the government, even if they went into the building. How does
I
going into
don't
a
think anyone was there to overthrow the government,
Well, there was one group of guys who wanted to take what's her name hostage.
but they want to do porn with her or something.
Well, I mean, they still.
Oh my God. I have a great story for the post show. I can't wait to turn in. So they were talking about the Middle East and Mike broke it down, or actually I think CIA convoluted it up. But there is no solution that I can think of. But I really think there's something about the people, the Palestinians not giving Hamas any more love. Like we really trusted you guys enough. Take your billions and fuck off. Like I wonder if there's a way to equate if the people want that or whatever. But these billionaires that live in Qatar, it just sounds ridiculous. And what's the point of having world leaders and UNs? Like there's the UN and war crimes and stuff is like someone killing someone and say, "Are we going to arrest them?" I'm like, no. We'll see if they commit more crimes and then we'll get it all together.
Well, it's stupid because they
It's
don't.
just stupid.
They never. Well, first of all, they never prosecute anyone who's like a first world leader
No.
for war crimes ever.
And it's so much a waste of so much money. We know what you're doing, and you're
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just thinking of Werner von Braun. Like
He's-
Joe says, he should have been tried for war times 10 times over, but instead they put up fucking giant statues of him outside of pretend space organizations.
Do you know what his net worth was?
Werner von Braun?
Yeah.
Do you?
250 billion.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
just made that up. But I knew if I said it that way, it would
Why are
be-
you even looking it up? It's going to be nowhere close to that.
I want to know what it is.
They're never going to have that.
there's something about I don't know what it was, but all wealth is like 90% of all wealth is transferred down by 10% or something. Stupid like that. But yeah, Mike Baker's doing well, and
Mike Baker, the bike baker.
they talked about a movie with a young Tom Cruise and a young and able Val Kilmer.
He's not on the Forbes list.
What film are we doing?
He's on the Hags list.
Ew.
What film are we doing?
The original Top Gun with.
We've done that before. 100%.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt Simon go head to head to find out what year movie came out, how much it cost to make it, how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing our yearly version of Top Gun.
Simon, you said you're certain we've done this?
Positive. I like how you were trying to be all quiet and then yelled out, "Hey!"
Well, fuck, you're just being an asshole.
What
so-
year do you think Jim Morrison died? What year do you think Jim Morrison died?
I think Jim Morrison died in 1982.
I'm going to say 86. I know he's buried in Paris.
Jim Morrison died in 1971. 1971 at the age of 27.
I don't know if I could have been farther off.
That has zero to do with Top Gun, right?
No, but I was thinking about Jim Morrison, who was played by Val Kilmer in The Doors.
Who also was in Top Gun.
The legend of Val Kilmer playing Jim Morrison is almost as big as the legend of Jim Morrison. But Jim Morrison,
Shut up.
What movie are we doing?
Top Gun.
Oh, you're looking to
Val
see
Kilmer.
if we've done it already?
Yeah. I don't see it, Simon, so
There it is, right on the first page.
where?
Third one down.
Yep.
Boom.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Is the third movie we ever did?
No, there's got to be way more pages. No, look at this, dude. There's like 15 pages of movie games here.
God, I can't believe I spotted that. That's incredible.
You did spot it, yeah.
You thought that was a
Okay,
good
so you're
use
gonna
of
have to come
time.
up with. a
It
new
came out in
movie.
1986. It cost 15 million and it made 357 million.
There you go.
Oh my God, we have a winner. 357 million.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
What a return on
Shut the
investment
front door.
from 15 million. What other movies you got, Kamar?
Jerry Bruckheimer.
Why don't we do the new Top Gun?
I watched Hateful Eight last night. Have we
Simon
done
will get
that?
upset because that's way too recent for him.
No, we'll do the new Top Gun.
See?
I watched Hateful Eight last night. Have you seen that?
The Tarantino movie?
Yeah, terrific movie. It is so
You
good.
just saw it?
No, I just watched it
great.
again last
It's a
night.
great-
but like
it's a great-
start to finish, it is fucking great.
It's great. And you forget every time.
Will you pick a movie? 12 Monkeys.
No, 12
12
Monkeys.
Monkeys,
yeah.
great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mike Baker.
You said 12 Monkeys earlier, so why not?
Another
right?
great.
Have you
film.
seen Baby Reindeer?
Oh yeah, we've never talked about Baby Reindeer. Have you
I
seen
haven't
it?
seen it.
Post
no.
Joe.
Oh, dude, that is a fucking crazy show. And it turns out she's been on a bunch of. Okay, should we talk about it real quick?
No. Post Joe.
I haven't seen it.
I was just
Simon, you
gonna
have a
tell
year.
you what it
Do you
was
have a
about.
year ready?
No, we just started.
What's
12
interesting
movies.
about 12 Monkeys is it's about time travel. And do you guys believe in time travel at all?
No.
If you could time travel, could you imagine that if you could go forwards or backwards, wherever you went, you would still be right here? So if you went back 100 years and this wasn't developed, you might be underground right now.
Yes, I recognize that.
That's an idea with this space. The time would change almost like you're sitting still and an amazing amount of whatever traveling. That's the only way it's possible, I think.
Your face is hilarious.
But we talked about how we only deal in space and time. We're two-dimensional beings.
Yes, we have discussed that. Simon, you have a year ready? For the love of Christ.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right, I said 1998.
And I said 99, but my initial thought was 96.
I think it's 96.
It's 1995. Jim Morrison.
As soon as I said 98 out loud, it's like the card, Simon, the betting. As soon as I said 98 out loud, I was like way off. Okay, I said it cost $22 million.
Whoa, I haven't even got there yet.
Amateur Hour,
I'm
Bruce
gonna-
Willis, Madeline Stowe, Brad Pitt, Christopher Plummer.
Which one's Madeline Stowe? I don't remember her.
She was a lover.
She was the
She was a
lover.
lover who hit him. Brad Pitt is great in that movie, and it's really done darkly. You know who did it, though, eh?
It's done darkly. You know who did it, eh?
Terry Gilliam.
Who's that?
Oh, nice. Time Bandits.
Exactly. Simon, 2 points.
Okay, I'm ready.
Monty Python's.
I said it cost $22 million and it made $87 million.
I said it cost 27 million
Ooh.
and it made 170 million.
Did you recommend we do this movie?
No, I did.
Matt did.
Budget, 29 million.
Oh man.
Box office, 168.8 million.
Oh my god. And I got the year.
No,
This
you
is-
didn't
got
get the year.
nothing.
You
Oh,
got
it was
nothing.
close.
You
You
didn't get
Suggest the
jack
movie.
shit.
This is a fix. This is disgusting.
I didn't suggest
The movie was
I
Top
did.
Gun, 1986.
Yeah.
25 million, $357 million at the box office.
Yeah, he's right. Kamar's right.
I was watching a thing, and that's the movie game.
The movie game.
About copyrights, 75 years. And
Yeah.
people take songs, especially from classical music, because that's the easiest one. And they'll take like 5 classical bars and just take out 2 of them. And you still have and it's totally legitimate. And a lot of songs we hear
It's called public domain.
that are pop music are these things. So it's already
ingrained in your head.
exactly.
Okay, let's wrap Mike Baker up.
Yeah.
I've
Bike
had enough
maker?
of this guy.
Yeah.
I give it a 1.
I give it a 1.
Spike raker.
What do you give it?
I give it less than a 0.
Wow, negative.
I give it a negative
Wow.
15 and a half.
Okay, that's a bit.
And
Yeah, you're
negative
rating him,
15
yeah.
and a half. I think he should be banned from ever appearing on the Joe Rogan show again.
Never gonna happen.
All Joe does by having him on is
Mm-hmm.
discredit himself and us in the process.
Well, there you have it, folks. All right, we're gonna take a break. We are gonna pay a bill, and we will be right back. We're back. Kamar, name and a number.
2148 Gad Sad.
Ugh.
So I'm going to sound racist here, but I haven't noticed an increase in anti-Semitism.
Well, that's because you're not Jewish, you piece of shit. Right, Simon? Am I right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
But
You anti-Semite piece of shit. You look Arab too.
have you ever seen Saturday Night Live with the 5-time host skit, Majiggy? So people who've been on Saturday Night Live
You've hosted it
5 times,
Yeah.
get this blazer. And usually when someone comes on for their 5th time, all these people will come on and they'll do a shuck and jive before the beginning of the show. I think it was funny. Kristen Wiig was on. She did hers. And Ryan Gosling came over and said, "You've only been on 3 times." Like, I know, but it's me. Like, totally making fun of the whole thing in general. God came in trying to figure out where he fits on the Mount Rushmore of guests.
Where he could find his jacket.
Joe Rogan. But as Simon broke down in the Mike Baker episode, Godson's not even on the radar.
Not even on the radar.
No.
But
I mean,
it's
he's-
so funny how he thinks him and Joe are so close. I find that hilarious.
Well, it's weird that he's like, how does me, a Jew from Lebanon,
Whoa,
end up?
That's not his accent.
Okay, whatever.
We're not going to do that today.
What aren't we going to do today?
I don't know.
You're bordering there. So
We can't do Jewy accents?
tell
It's
your-
more of a Lebanese French accent than Jewy, but that's fine.
Tell your story.
No, it's
but
fine.
Do it in a normal voice.
No. I can't believe, he's such a weird guy. He's like, how does me, just a guy from Lebanon, a Jew from Lebanon, how do I end up with free tickets to this thing? Just because of you, Joe Rogan. Like, well, that's how. You went on Joe, you said the thing, someone heard you. That's how this works. Like, you're quasi-famous.
That's never happened before with you or any guests. It is such a unique thing.
What's with
What's
this?
going on
What's
here?
with this?
I
down.
don't like
Too
this
late.
at
Get down.
all.
Back up.
Well,
Get
we'll
down.
just all go up then.
No, I don't want to
This
be
is
up there.
stupid.
I don't want my feet dangling like a
back up.
fucking
Oh,
weirdo. No, that's so stupid.
You like
I
that?
think I love it. I think it's
perfect.
Yeah,
hilarious.
for the
This is-
listeners,
this
Kamar's
is where we
jacked
are
his
now.
chair up to an
This is
egregious
where
level.
we are now.
An absolutely egregious level.
Look at little Matt over
Oh
there.
my!
He's got his new book.
you guys.
He's got his new book, Sad Truth of Happiness.
That's what he called it? Is it like a play on his name? Gadzad?
Yes,
That
of
would
course.
have to be the situation. Or that's a coincidence.
Does he write?
It comes out of the printer and goes, holy shit.
Does he?
I don't even have to put my name on the side of the book.
Does he write it SADD?
I did not buy the book.
What's the
Contrary to what
What's
you would
the
have
name of the
thought.
book? Can you repeat, please?
Sad Truth of Happiness.
you.
He's come with other visits with Joe about the virus and bad ideas and stuff. And despite him being annoying or anything, he does come with his T's crossed and his I's dotted. I don't think he's full
I
of
don't give a
nonsense. He is maintaining that he stayed alive in academic circles because he had tenure.
It's AAD.
Of course it is. Yeah.
This guy's a real fucking knob.
He's a piece of work.
Did you hear us down there, Matt?
guy's a real fucking knob. All right, you know what? Fuck you, Simon. Fuck
It feels good, man. It feels good up here,
you. I'm
man.
going way up.
The air's different.
No, I feel like, yeah.
I feel more alert. Whoa! Holy shit!
Yeah, you want to play that game?
How'd you do that?
You want to play that
Can't do
game?
that. You can't do that.
Who's tall now, bitch?
I'm up there. Don't you worry. We're all good.
This is ridiculous. We look ridiculous. Like, this is so dumb. I feel ridiculous. With your knees.
How you like that, Kamar?
What is it called? The Battle of the Jacksons? The Joneses?
Keeping up with the Joneses? Yeah.
My mic doesn't even go this high.
He maintains that he, although is speaking his truth and being himself, he is facing consequences for being so radical. And I wonder if it was just there's only enough room in Canada for one professor to really be the superstar, and Jordan just got there before he did.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but there's probably other reasons he's being held back.
He's like, no,
Because he's
but
a Jew.
I don't like the way you said that, but yes.
Eric
Sorry, 'cause he's a
Weinstein. Eric Weinstein.
I don't know that guy.
Me neither.
This is so stupid.
Yeah,
My feet
you got to
are
get
just
down.
on the
Yeah, that's
ground.
what I'm saying. You don't want your feet dangling like a child.
Okay, I'll stay right here. This is my new level.
Go ahead.
What he went off on, and that's like some other countries, is this idea of immigrants coming to a new country, but we're moving here because it's hard where we are, but we're going to keep doing things the way we did it there.
Yeah,
Despite
it's,
that, that's probably the reason why we weren't doing well
it's the pistachio store.
in France.
No, here. I'm saying.
And then there's this weird thing of compassion for immigrants over citizens. And that, could you imagine any place you could go and say, well, this is how I do stuff in Canada, so you guys are going to give us some money and support us to do this because you don't want us to feel away from our home. It's already hard enough that we're coming here and giving it all this money. We'd like to, it's counterintuitive. And it sounds hateful and stuff, and I think he's going to get in a lot of trouble for what he said on this podcast. But I can't say I disagree with him.
I mean, look, I always thought that, people could just come here. Like I said, we have Little Italies, we have Chinatowns, and it's not been a problem. And I always just thought, whatever, you could just move here, and I get it. You want to be around like-minded people. But yeah, it's clearly creating a little bit of a problem.
I think, though, the other thing is what people always talk about when they talk about the futility of talking about world issues and everything. And they say, if you really care or whatever, you would act on a municipal level. and that's where they are in fact acting. And so that is the literal like grassroots system up, and you'll see more mayors, more aldermen, more whatever,
Ombudsman.
just coming out and using the system as it's developed. I forget, he didn't say the name of the doctor, but there's a doctor that said, wash your hands. And just imagine what
Oh, gross.
the environment.
Gross.
Someone here has brought up the movie a
No,
couple
but
times.
that's science for you, right? Like at one point, those people were scalded for their view that is now accepted. Like every major achievement. Who was it on this podcast or on a podcast this week where they were talking about the Nobel Prize winner?
No,
Yeah,
it's God.
it's God's
Is it?
side,
Right
yeah.
here, perfect.
I mean, that is really an amazing
Accidents, a
fucking.
bunch of accidents and whatnot.
Every one of them was called crazy.
And the whole awards is to throw the
I'm
send
not
off
sure
that the guy
that's
invented
true,
dynamite.
but it's a good.
A lot
stat.
of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And all the awards are to throw off the scent on the guy that invented dynamite to make himself
The
look better.
TNT guy. Yeah.
But when people
believe
laugh
his
at an
name was
idea,
Nobel.
it either
Oh, that's
harebrained.
who the award's about.
Yeah.
When people laugh at an idea, it's either crazy or genius.
Yeah.
Was his sort of.
He said it's either crazy or be ready to go accept your Nobel Prize.
Is that really what you think his accent sounds like?
No, I just keep switching it up just to piss you off.
I found he had like
He sounds like this. Oh my God.
no. He's a Lebanese Jew.
Yeah.
So try and figure that out.
Living in Montreal.
Yeah, not really like that either. That sounded like Count Dracula.
Joe mentioned that he thought that there's something wrong with Bigfoot people.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh. This
Here
this never
we
ends well.
go.
In
This
fact, he
never
said
ends well.
Bigfoot is less interesting than killer whales.
Uh-oh. Them's fighting words right there. What do you think of that, Simon?
Well, I think that's crazy because when you hear how people describe Bigfoot,
Yeah.
like the way it moves and stuff, it's very interesting.
Okay.
And they're tipping you.
You're talking about a very huge creature that is more agile than any other creature known to man. That is very interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay, let's just say it's real, Matt.
Okay, yeah.
Right? There is an undiscovered primate
Yeah.
that lives in North America, in the forests of North America. Okay.
Yeah.
It is able to travel on 2 legs as well as 4 legs and reach speeds of, I don't know, like a fast car.
Okay.
It's strong enough to break a grizzly bear's neck.
Okay.
It's strong enough to take down.
Are you
an
writing
elk
its
by
resume?
itself.
What's
no,
going
no,
on
I'm
here?
just like that.
Are you its mother?
That's pretty fucking crazy. I just don't think that like Joe just made it seem like it's a big dumb gorilla
Yeah,
living
he's
in
not
the
grasping.
forest.
He's not grasping the veritas.
If you look
The
back
gravitas,
in the
sorry.
literature, in the I don't know what you call that, like the lore. I don't know. The proof, the
Yeah.
evidence.
Yeah.
Witness evidence. It's a lot more interesting than that. I've also heard many accounts of Bigfoot, and it drops down like a
pole.
spider onto the ground and
Wow. Scurries away like that. huh?
very quickly and without detection. I've also heard,
Like someone on roller skates.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
tricked
Going under a limbo.
and that's exactly what it is. And let's just say some of the accounts are true.
Yeah.
About them being able to cloak themselves, or when they scream, it's like a what do they call that? Ultrasonic frequency. Like that would be very interesting. You know what I'm saying?
I agree,
Like,
yeah.
we don't know what this thing is capable of because we haven't had the ability to catch one.
Well, I hope for your sake we do catch one day.
I think Joe, and look, if he doesn't want to believe that there is this primate living in the woods, okay, fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him saying, look, that's impossible. But what he can't say is impossible is that Bigfoot, what people see in the woods, is actually an alien creature coming through portals or something like that. Like, he doesn't know. We don't know what aliens look like. We don't know how many different aliens there are, how
Why
many
did you do this?
species that come to Earth.
We do this like once a month.
Which
where-
would also be very interesting. So I just don't get why Joe has to pick on the. And again, he's talking about a very small number of people. And listen, I will tell you, I listened to Bigfoot shows. There were some kooks out there. There were some people who were obviously lying about shit. But when you hear some of the stories, you're just like, this
Do you know
can't be
all-
wrong.
Can I blow your mind right now?
Sure.
No,
Yeah, blow our mind.
no.
Let's go.
I'm doing a meme of a TikTok, but
It's
does
aliens.
every language have a different word for Earth? And is it just in English that Earth and Earth work out that they're the same thing?
What the fuck are you talking
I
about?
hear what. Yes, I hear you.
So
I hear
all
what
other
you're
countries,
saying.
Earth is Shibachu, and the planet is Shibachu. Earth.
Well, terre and then le terre.
Terra Nova.
C'est quoi ça?
And then terre and earth. What do you mean? What are you talking about as
Terre.
earth?
So
earth?
a lot of them come from the same.
The Latin.
Je ne sais pas.
No, I'm telling you.
Oh, so in Chinese,
That I don't know. I'm telling you though that a lot of like Italian, French, English, whatever, they all come from this same. I don't know.
Italian.
if-
What's dirt in Italian or earth? Earth in Italian.
like,
it's a weird
wouldn't it
word.
make more sense to call it water?
It is water.
I know it's 80% water. Why are we calling it Earth?
Why do we call it the water? The great water.
We should be living on planet water.
We're waterlings.
We should be living on
We're
planet.
we're
We
water.
are
Waterlings.
living on water.
And they have no way to explain how the water stays on the ball.
But you can't dig into
Like
water.
that, you know what I'm saying?
No,
It's not a bowl.
it's spinning. And also,
It's spinning.
that's
how it keeps
We've had
the
this
water on,
conversation
yeah,
before. Do you
that
know when
makes
they
sense.
invented dinosaurs?
I know when people first found out about dinosaurs.
1842.
Yeah, I know. Well, they do have like further back.
But they would have called them dragons. The word dinosaur is coined.
That's right.
And what's that based off of?
Two guys who found bones who ended up being shysters.
But they could have been called rhinoplasties.
Well, they could be anything. Could be called anything.
They could
It
be
means angry lizard or something.
Yes, yeah.
angry. Listen, they knew people were angry at the
Or
time.
terror lizard.
I can't remember what
No,
it is. It's something
that's
lizard.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
And even though the thing existed a million years before, we knew this thing was angry.
And we know everything about them, by the way, Kamar, exactly how they lived and that they never built subways.
Here's one.
Hate you.
No,
you
but this is how stupid we are.
Yeah.
Like, we find a couple of bones, put them together, and decide we know everything about dinosaurs, which weren't even a thing before 1842.
Penmanship.
Come on, man.
Penmanship.
What about penmanship?
Pen-
Talked
no,
about the
penmanship.
deterioration of
Penmanship.
penmanship. And I'm telling you, I never could really write at the best of times. Clearly, like I could understand my writing, but it is like
So now in the worst of times, it's terrible.
You know,
I'm going to be vulnerable here right now. Sometimes you fill out form in public, like like something for someone that you like a form for something,
what
and
it
it's
is.
The writing of a
and it's
6-year-old.
so embarrassing that you have to turn over.
it's not. Be proud of your writing. You know why they're trying to get rid of writing, eh? Why they're phasing out
It's gone. Writing.
cursive writing and any type of writing?
Tell us.
Because they want you to be dependent on your keyboard. They want you to be dependent on the computers.
So you can still write really nice.
I could never write really nice, but I know how to write.
I can write, but it's just like not.
I can write in cursive. Can you write in cursive?
Yeah.
You know what? My superpower might be able to write.
You could. You could do a proper Z
Yes,
right now.
yeah.
Show me. Take your little book out and show
I
me.
could do
your
it, but I
Z.
think I would have a stroke in the concentration it takes.
Write the word frozen, please.
Okay.
How many people listening right now are left-handed? And do you have good penmanship? Because everyone here
Okay,
right.
you did not do the Z, by
is-
the way.
The
That's
Z
terrible.
is this.
That is a tag.
That's a Z.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that is a nice
That's
Z.
close. No,
That is a
this
nice
isn't.
That's a Z.
I'll see this. This is a nice Z.
Okay. Mine's just smaller than yours.
If you have
You did something
children,
really weird here.
What do you mean?
That says frozen. It's frozen.
If you have children, you should have books in your house to make them inspired to think about reading books.
Do a not a capital F, minuscule F. What is that? What
minuscule
they're
F?
called?
Yeah.
Capital and minuscule?
Minuscule.
Is it
Minuscule.
minuscule writing? This one here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's not horrible.
I can write in cursive.
Is that what it's called though? Minuscule writing?
Sebastian
Yeah.
Minuscule.
They really take
Capital
like a step down, eh? It's not like capital and minor. They just jumped right to minuscule.
Yeah. Very small, miniature.
Am I saying that just sounds wrong? Minuscule
Minuscule?
writing? That can't be right.
Well, Google it. You have a
Is it
fucking
like-
computer in your pocket. Why don't you cursive write it into
It's not
Google?
perceptual. And that's perception and helpful. Books inspire reading. I wonder how Joe and Tom, like, we got this thing, like, hey, maybe we should stop doing that thing where we send each other the most heinous stuff.
It's lowercase.
Oh yeah, lower. We're
not-
doing French.
it's not
French is
minuscule.
minuscule. Yeah,
It's
it's French.
minuscule.
That's why, because I
French,
grew up
that's
in fucking French immersion.
Gotcha.
Stupid.
People
Yeah,
are
it's
still
lowercase. Yeah,
Lowercase.
I
People
hate
are
French
still laughing.
immersion.
It fucked me up.
Yeah,
Man.
me too. Exponents.
God found that porn is the worst distraction.
God found that?
God.
Gad.
Gad.
God found that.
I thought he got religious all of a sudden.
He's also surprised. He's the first time I've heard someone that AI isn't further. Because he said he'd been working in the field and stuff. And he says, I actually think it'd be further by now. But I still think it's some sort of weird thing. If you look at like the printing press, where it was before it became almost obsolete.
Do you think it's obsolete now?
Of course.
The printing press?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the best way to communicate something is get it on an app or on a phone.
The printing press is obsolete until your grid goes down, and then it's the most.
No, you need
Solely
you
thing
need
there
you need
is.
energy to run it. Forget it. It's no one has a manual minting.
Hand crank,
Stop,
baby.
Stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
I have my vintage hand crank press.
And then
That's what they have on all the fallout shelters.
people are going down the sidewalk of technology while the technology that's going to take over everything exists in parallel.
This guy just call it the sidewalk of technology.
Dinner party of 5.
Just the slow march to your
Dinner party of 5. Did you have 5 guesses?
my 5 people I'd want to. How did he not know who Hunter S. Thompson
Yeah, it was
was?
very
Was he,
odd.
troll- was
that's
he
what-
trolling
that's what
Joe?
got
He
thrown
didn't
off.
figure it out. He was like, I think I know him from Tucker Carlson, which I was like,
I don't think you do.
Joe, I think I'd rather not talk about anyone else that you like because you like me
Well,
so
do
much.
you think Hunter Thompson was on Tucker Carlson?
no, he said Tucker met him when he was 12.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon.
sorry. What, Kamar?
Do you have a dinner party of 5? And now, dead or alive, it got thrown off because Joe was shocked he didn't know Hunter Thompson. Then he said he'd figured out. And there's a great clip on the CBC where it's Hunter S. Thompson and a Hell's Angel comes in and they have a tete-a-tete.
Interesting. On CBC?
It was done on the CBC. Yeah.
Weird.
Who's your 5? And then I'll tell you my 5.
My dad.
No. Famous people, I thought. No?
No, it could be anyone throughout history.
Because he freaked out that he said Hunter S. Thompson and he was like, no, Socrates, Plato. Like,
Yeah. Okay, go on. Your dad?
I
Like
think
your
so.
real dad?
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Michael Jackson.
Wow. That should tell you everything you need to know about Kamar.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Sorry, who was number 2, Kamar? It was your
Michael
dad.
Jackson.
And then who?
Michael Jackson.
Weird.
That's 3 people. Trump.
He's alive.
Wow.
He's dead or
that's-
alive?
Oh, yeah, okay,
dead
dead or alive,
That's
yeah.
incredible.
Sorry, yeah.
Your list is incredible.
Yeah.
What a dinner party it
What
would
an
be on
eclectic
Jack.
group.
And who's 5?
Who do I want to fuck? Jenna Jameson. No, sorry.
What?
Corey Feldman.
Who's your number 5? Come on. Dinner party.
Jeffrey
guys.
Epstein.
Oh my God.
This is the fucking craziest list I've ever heard. So let me get this straight. In no specific
particular order, of course.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Correct. Michael Jackson.
Michael-
So actually in good company right away. Both like a long gander and a child's anus.
Michael Jackson. Kamar's dad. birth father, blood daddy. Who else we got?
He said Michael Jackson, Epstein, Trump,
Oh, Trump, yeah.
his dad.
And who was 5?
I don't remember.
It was that person.
That person. What person?
Trump,
Yeah.
Epstein,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Your dad.
my dad,
Yeah.
Prince. Did I say
No,
Prince?
you didn't say
no,
Prince.
I said Prince.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't, but
Maybe I
that's
said
interesting.
An actor. Did I say an actor?
Oh my God, I can't believe we can't remember who fucking 5 was.
Queen? Was it the Queen?
No, it wasn't the fucking Queen.
Did I say David Bowie?
You did not say David Bowie. Those would all be much better choices than the one you made.
No, I
can
don't. Trump
guarantee
is
you that.
gold. Michael Jackson is super
No,
gold.
who number 5 was?
They had this,
Michael
Epstein.
Jackson is super
Epstein.
gold.
Epstein is horrible.
Was it? Did I say Kennedy?
No.
No, I switched him for Epstein.
Epstein is
Trump.
horrible, by
Trump
the
was
way.
amazing.
You've now said Trump like 6 times.
Yeah, we get it.
Oh, Heath Ledger. That was the weird
Oh,
one.
Heath
Yeah,
Ledger.
Heath Ledger. That's correct.
That was your weird one.
Out of all the actors,
You didn't love Heath Ledger?
I liked him, but he hardly even lived.
Wow, harsh.
Well, like, okay, I'm sorry. He was pretty young when he died.
Well, that's why I was talking to you about Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison.
He died relatively young, but his legend lives on. Okay, and that's where I wanted to
Do
get
I
to.
get a translator for my 5?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, of course.
Let's hear your 5.
So I would want maybe somebody like Akhenaten,
Is that a Egyptian?
an Egyptian,
Yeah, perfect.
whoever, so I'll figure out who the
They're
best.
going to know
one.
something.
That would be amazing. Then I would want to go even further back. So an Atlantean. That would probably be pretty cool.
Plato or so? Is that Socrates?
Maybe Jeffrey Meldrum. It's a Bigfoot guy.
He's going to be like,
And
I made it all up. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be
William Burroughs. That's an interesting one.
in the corner doing heroin.
Be very, very interesting to have at my dinner party. And shit, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I think your dinner party sucks a lot more than mine. And what are you going to serve? That like lox? That just sounds dreadful, man.
I saw the best thing on
Oh,
Reddit.
no, you-
I will. I'll get to mine. I saw the best thing on Reddit, though. There was this long post about just what we're talking about. It was like, if you could have, except it was sex. It was, if you could have sex with anyone in history, who would it be? And this guy, one of the top comments was, this guy wrote, I would really like to just one more time have sex with my dead wife. I miss her incredibly. It was a very heartfelt, it had so many likes. And then this guy below him commented, yeah, I want to have sex with his dead wife too.
Oh my god. That's why the internet's hilarious.
Yeah, undefeated. Mine are Patrice O'Neill, Dave Chappelle.
Comedians.
Who else? Who would be interesting throughout history?
Genghis Khan, maybe.
Well, I was thinking about Genghis Khan. That's how we have so many psychopaths walking around, because that guy populated so many people. He was a fucking maniac. That's why we have like 10% sociopaths.
Oh, one of the Easter Island guys. I want to know why those heads are there. What that's all about.
I'm surprised you didn't say Graham Hancock or Randall Carlson.
I don't love him so much. I like what he talks about.
You know what would be cool though if I said
He's a
if I
whiny
could have an
little
alternate,
baby.
Marco Polo, and to ask Marco Polo say what he thought about aliens or ancient civilizations or stuff like that, because they must also at that time have a lore legends that they believed in that were
for
true
sure.
or whatever.
That were too crazy to make the newspapers.
Well, there was no newspaper.
Well, their tablets.
Shit
or
was all
whatever.
on silk. And
We
shit.
don't find anything. They could have had newspapers. What the fuck do we know? The dinosaurs could have built subways.
Shit was all on silk and shit. That's what he just said.
It was so funny how
Oh my God.
Sorry. Okay, I should have used the burp button.
Gad was remarking just or taking pride in how good him and Jamie are working together. Like he feels like it was orchestral,
Could you
symphonic.
give me control of the USB?
And then in the next sentence, he said, "Pride is the ultimate sin." And he I think asked Joe to say what in the top 10, where would you put me in particular order?
In what? As what?
Best guest of all time.
And friend.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
just like BFF.
Where am I in your?
He's like, am I in your top 5 on Verizon? Do you call when you call me? Is
Yeah.
it free long distance or
on your speed dial.
how old are you?
That I still know what a speed dial is.
Yeah.
And they mentioned the lip plating and neck stretching. And you know where the neck stretchers are?
Africa,
No, Myanmar.
Myanmar,
Burma,
yeah.
Myanmar, and they're the ones that are being ethnically cleansed and ran out.
Where are the lip stretchers in Africa?
I did not follow up on the lip stretchers because when they were talking about the lip stretchers, I looked up the neck things, and I find that more interesting because the lip stretchers are the same as the ears, but the neck is differently. But I do not think Gad, as accurate and sort of on point that he is correct about them. Their necks just going like that.
Oh, he can't be right about everything, can he?
The head elongation is the really interesting one.
Exactly, and that's where I got caught up. The rings,
The head elongation.
the neck. Oh no, sorry.
The Peruvian,
Like growing a square watermelon.
Nazca
Yes,
skulls,
yes. I
and
apologize.
they actually find those all over the world, which is really weird. So, you know, like the idea of a cargo cult.
A cargo cult? No.
Yeah, it's like undiscovered tribe lives on some island.
Oh, they found cargo and then they think it's God.
An airplane lands
Gotcha.
or crashes or whatever. They make it into their god, and then they end up whatever. I think that's the origination of the cargo cult. But more like what was I talking about before?
Kamar's face.
Groups, cults.
Cargo cults
belong.
is how you started.
The second I looked at his eyes, like, yeah, I'm listening to you.
I lost
He's gone. Yeah, I saw it too.
And I regret I'll never listen to you again. man.
Because I looked at him and he's like, he's actually listening to me.
I'll never
and I
look at him
forgot what
again.
the fuck I was talking about. Your eyes made me forget. They were like that
Yeah, I'll
machine
never-
on
I'll
Men in
never
Black.
listen to you again. I think though,
No, what was I talking about though? Seriously, it's gonna bother me.
neck stretching as it relates
Oh,
like a
the
cargo cult.
the Peruvian
no,
skulls.
the head
Yeah.
skull.
So what did they see that made them want to make their heads bigger?
Their
like
reflection
that?
in water.
That made them want to honor. What were to do that to their children? To consider that such a amazing trait.
to make him a cone head.
Like, is
For better
that
or
what
worse.
we used to look like? And we just are missing that part in the, you know what I mean? And we used to all have really long heads. And then over the years, over time, that went away, became a round head. But these people remember our ancestors. Or was this a different species who came to Earth, interacted with these people, and when they left, they wanted to be like them or honor them or...
Baby.
No?
Yeah, baby.
Well,
Kamar
where
looks
do you
lost.
just come up with this idea that all of a sudden a long head is better than a short head? Like,
But you're saying it's to mimic it. It's
well,
just
that's what I would assume, that they're trying to mimic something, whether it be aliens or whether it be us in ancient times.
1 times 0.
Oh, here we fucking go.
1 times 0. Where does the 1 go?
Undefined.
Undefined.
That's the answer.
He just drops the mic.
People.
How does an airplane stay
Whoa.
going around the Earth?
Would that be wicked if we could take the time to get a bunch of people to make this also look like it's a production? We're going live, God damn it. No.
Someone cut his mic.
There is something about human beings, whether it's a defect or an affect. I don't think I use that correctly.
Well, I think it sounded pretty good. Keep on going.
Want to be in groups.
Yeah. Well, we don't like being
And
alone.
it's-
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And we aren't conscious of it. So as it happens, as we proceed with life, we take it for granted. The groupings we're in, the camp we go to that we met that person,
Well, I just thought about this right now because you either, as a person, want to lead or you want to follow. It's one or the other. But in each case, you need more people. You need to either follow somebody or have somebody to lead.
And then everyone who's a follower, but everyone's a leader that no one wants to follow, turns into a serial killer or whatever, because they're got to put their energy everywhere. And every time there's a follower that wasn't supposed, a leader that was supposed to be a follower, they just fuck shit up and run it into the ground. Like lemmings. And we constantly do this through life. Very interesting. Yeah, but Gad's sad. I mean, hopefully he'll be back soon.
I give it a 2.
I give it 2.
That's it for Gad's Sad?
Yeah.
That feels anti-Semitic.
Well,
How short a time you
Gad
gave him.
Assad would assure you that it was anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
I would have to agree with him. I think if this was some, I don't know.
I'll put this question to you,
Go
and
on.
he said it.
No, I'm not going to.
If you were 22, would it even occur to you to go there and fight?
to go to,
You could go to right now. You could go to Israel. If you're 20, you're single, you have no family.
no, it would never.
It wouldn't occur to you.
No, it wouldn't occur to me.
Okay, so you're anti-Semitic as well.
Yeah, that's what you got
No.
to.
Why, you wouldn't go fight for the Jews?
I
Terrible person.
Wouldn't fight for the Canadians. I wouldn't fight for the Jews. I wouldn't fight for the olive people.
Not the olive people.
I'm against war, Matt.
That's good to
Schwarba?
know.
Did he just say I'm against Schwarba?
That's definitely what I heard.
I can't believe that. It's the dog whistle of all dog
Holy
whistles.
shit! Holy shit!
Pierre
That-
Poilievre
That's
over
not
here.
what I said.
Polyev over here.
But upon rereading the article, I can see it.
Yeah, it's a headline. Okay, guys, bring it home. 2149, Sebastian Maniscalco.
Maniscalco.
Yeah. Talk about the most disinterested guest in Joe Rogan history.
But as far as racism goes, like I would like to take this as a perfect, model.
Yeah.
You know he's Italian, right?
They're both Italian, but do they seem like they're both Italian? But they're both Italian. Like it just.
That's a good point. I
there's
get what he's
nothing.
saying. Well, Joe didn't grow up with his dad. I think his
Nothing
dad
means
was
any-
Italian.
well, I guess so, but I for sure know Italian guys like Sebastian Maniscalco more so than I guess I know Italian guys like Joe. But I would say you're like an Italian guy like Joe.
What are guys like Sebastian Maniscalco?
I'd say a lot more patriotic pride, like just in
Pride in
like
Italy or pride in America?
a relationship with an identity of who they are because they are.
So you think Sebastian Maniscalco
Is more Italian
is
than
super
Joe Rogan.
Italian
I mean, he is super
He's
Italian.
more Italian
because
than
he
Joe Rogan.
sounds more Italian?
Well, he just looks like he would drive an IROC and have like a fucking wife beater on.
But I would argue that there is no such thing as more or less. He's Italian. But if you were to line him up, I mean, just talking, I'd say Sebastian.
I mean, that's kind of like putting me next to like a Hasidic Jew in the hat with the payas and saying, you see, there's more than one type of Jew.
Unless they
It's
pick
just
you, which you'd
stupid.
lose your mind.
Anyways,
You don't know. You know what I always thought about, and I think it was more in the Gad Sad episode, but how there were Italians and Lebanese sort of ran the high school, and we sort of ran like without getting in their way, and just that sort of essence or whatever it is.
well, who did you say?
Italians and Lebanese.
Well, I think that had something to do with the fact that the OAC was littered with guys who should have been in university like 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Athletes of the
they were doing like their 8th year in high
A
school.
bunch of Burt Kreischers.
That sounds about right. And they all seemed like men when we were.
Yep.
And it's because they were.
Yeah. Yeah.
In any ways,
You're like, how does that guy have such a nice car? Because he's like
Hey, he's
20.
26. He has a full-time job.
Sebastian presents himself
That's why he's never in class.
Yeah.
He's
as more
day trading.
ethnically Italian than Joe Rogan. Not better for worse,
Okay.
but they're totally different.
It's weird how you went so racial on this episode.
I liked it when he said his wife bought him this watch. What does his wife do?
She picked it out. That's what he meant.
I would like to get there.
You never know. Maybe she does Pilates classes or some shit. She saved up for the year.
He's straight faced, man.
That's
Come on.
so
Get
rude.
through a straight face there.
So rude. Maybe she's in the WNBA.
Oh, there you go.
Let's just
She has
jump
a contract that nets her like $45,000 a year.
Exactly. I'm glad Simon knows what I'm talking about.
Heated,
With benefits, bitch.
heated bed is insane.
Having a heated bed?
I mean, if I had the money and could have one, of course, why
Yeah.
would I not refuse it?
Yeah.
But then we've gotten to that point.
For some people, have
just-
heated beds, and some people are sleeping on straw.
Or dirt floor.
Yeah,
Or-
a dirt,
or-
or a dirt floor.
It's
Maybe a dirt floor.
the progress we're making. It's just insane.
I like how those are the two ends.
Yeah,
like you
heated bed
sleep
or
on
dirt
like a
floor.
beautiful mattress,
I sleep
but
on a
you're
really nice-
closer to the guy on the dirt floor than the guy with the heated fucking
I slept on foam.
I'm proud of you.
Oh,
memory foam.
No, before
Just
memory.
foam, just foam.
Forgetful foam. Alzheimer's foam.
When you sleep on cardboard, then get back to me, all right?
Yeah, Kamar.
Something about Sebastian. Do you guys like Sebastian?
Yeah.
Third time on. I mean, he's no Godsad.
Did you ever used to listen to his show? Did you ever listen to Sirius Radio?
No.
No.
You were stuck with it for years.
You're
I
the only
know.
one I know who can afford it.
He had, I think he had a show on Sirius Radio where it was him and this other Italian guy
He still has that show.
talk
It's just not
about
on
his
Sirius.
wife and stuff, his life.
His wife, his life.
And
some
that was
stuff.
like before he had blown up. Anyways, I don't know why I brought that up. Oh, because he's on this week.
Yeah. We are talking about him right now, yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell, Matt.
I'm sorry.
Sebastian's dog doesn't like him, and Joe would have 100 dogs if he could.
So would I. Don't tell
Hear that,
him.
buddy?
Don't tell him that.
But not cats.
No, cats fucking stink.
You would have 100 dogs? I don't think so. I think you like this dog. I don't know if you like all dogs.
It's a weird fucking stance, but okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like you never even thought of having a dog before you
No,
had
and now
this
that I've
dog.
had one, I'm like, why did I ruin my life by not having dogs?
Interesting.
They're also expensive as fuck, though, so I can't afford to get more than one dog. I'd like to get Chico a little friend. But again, it's just like,
I don't know if he'd like a friend.
I don't think he would. I'm certain he wouldn't.
Sorry, Kamar, we were talking about something else.
No, they talked a lot about dogs and how Sebastian isn't liked by his dog. And that's sort of a weird thing. But I do like Sebastian. He started like they said, the weirdest way as an open micer at the
Comedy Store.
comedy store. Which, I mean, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. But that is the craziest
It's really trial by fire.
possible way to get in there. And he said he is not, he's one of those sit back and listen green room guys.
I like how he said he heard Eleanor say he was
sucked
terrible
him in
at
the
first.
beginning.
He was like, I didn't know I was that bad.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I remember the first time seeing him, I think it was Just for Laughs, and he was amazing. And he was probably only doing it 3 or 4 years. But the character was just so good. Like the commitment was so good. It's undeniable. Almost what the joke was. You know what I mean? The way he did stuff.
Yeah, he's good. He's also very physical, too.
He's
so.
almost like, and I don't, not the same, but like an Andrew Dice Clay,
Yep.
where it
100%.
feels like this is like an alternate personality.
But I'd say after seeing Andrew Dice Clay performance and him in an interview, Sebastian's way closer.
Well, having listened to him on Sirius Radio, he really talks like that.
Yes.
That's not like
No,
a
that's not a
affliction
shtick.
he's putting
No,
on
no.
or an affection or
Yeah. No, that's who he is.
affect.
He was on
I think
tour.
that's the right way to use that, Kamar.
He was on tour. He was on tour with Nate on tour,
With Nate Bargatze,
who is
because they're both clean, so they can do all clean.
Nate
shows.
Bargatze's the legend. He's the best.
He is a
I'm
legend.
almost thinking of paying the money to go see him.
I'm going to go.
And who they throw in with him? Matt
Jerry
Rife?
D, who I love.
Jerry D's
Yeah,
the best.
it's
I've
gonna be
gone to
good.
see Jerry D just
good
on his
times.
own. I find him very amusing.
He's hilarious.
Did you ever watch Mr. D?
No.
It's a fucking hilarious show.
Well, Jerry D's hilarious.
Sebastian sort of laments not being like Joe. Like, I want to do what you're doing, and it's just sort of his projection as to be a movie star or whatever, and not. I think that's where the decisions made at their success points. And Sebastian likes doing corporates.
He said that, yeah.
He's the one.
He's the one.
And then he asked a weird question about, did anyone teach you about money?
No.
Because now I look at money as not mine. Even money that's coming to me, money that I'm scheduled to earn, even if I
Scheduled to earn.
even if I get it, it's not mine. I'm just getting
And
it.
then
To
Yeah,
with
get
you're
your
holding on to it
mother's
for a
a
minute,
whore, Trebek.
So yeah, I've never thought about money or been able to think about how money doesn't exist or it's just not mine.
Well, we've said this a million times. They should teach this shit in school. There should be courses that tell
Or
you
your
how to
parents
do
should
your
sort of break it
taxes,
down for you. I wish that one day for a year, I guess, I could just go out to a restaurant and not
Not worry.
think about it.
I would
I've done
love
it.
that.
I've done it with a rich person, and it feels really nice. Just to order, and then when they say, "Hey, don't you want 2 lobster? Get yourself 2 lobster."
Yeah, I got it.
Fucking
It's
captain.
mine.
That at that moment, that feels like a better world.
I agree.
Almost maybe another dimension from the one I'm in, and I'd say it feels Matrix-like. That just to not worry about the money like ruining your life.
I don't know
would
what
make food
that.
taste
I
so
don't
much
know what
better.
that's like.
Yeah.
And I remember going out to eat one time, and I had a lot of money,
Yeah.
and I still felt terrible about spending the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
No, you can't feel terrible. That's because it doesn't matter. You have no feeling.
I get it. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, that's
I try to just look at it like money's not real. We made it up. It's going to come and go anyway.
But Joe clarified.
probably why I'm
I don't know
broke.
if there's a role
Like
for
dust
you,
in the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
but when he was 25, he got a deal from
Disney.
Disney.
The devil.
No, he got it
That's
from
a contract.
he got it from MTV.
That's a contract. With
MTV,
the devil.
MTV, not Disney.
$150,000.
Not Disney.
Disney,
Joe?
and they never looked back.
Joe.
Rogan,
It was
what he
with
said.
MTV, wasn't it?
Disney.
I don't think it was.
Hardball?
The check signed by Werner von Braun.
He doesn't even know. He just says things with a lot of chutzpah.
I thought Joe was interesting because
That means moxie.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
there was a lot of Sebastian interviewing Joe in this show, which can always be detrimental. But it's true that as far as people say, like, oh, the attention span.
Yeah.
No one knew that it would be 7 seconds or 2. It could be something could be, or 3 hours, 4 hours and stuff like the Dan Carla ones are a lot. But if you know what you're getting into, but there is an appetite for everything in between. There isn't one way. I mean, Sebastian sort of asking Joe, like, what's the next big thing? It felt like to me. He's got phobia, flying phobia. Oh yeah, he can't sit. He can't sit in a chair.
Yeah.
And actually, Gad Sad had a phobia too.
well, that's exactly what happened to me. That's
Yes.
how I got so like weirdly. Like I always knew I was claustrophobic. Like when I was a kid, I never like going into like snow tunnels and stuff, but I could never really understand what was
Interesting.
happening until I had like an anxiety attack on a plane. And it's because I felt so closed in and then I wanted air, but you can't get air because you can't open the window. And then I just felt the walls coming in.
Simon, you'll love this. The flight back from Vegas, we had a flight that was supposed to be Vegas to Vancouver, Vancouver to Ottawa. And that flight got delayed. So we weren't going to make our connecting flight. So we had to rebook a flight. We got the last 2 seats on the flight from Vegas to Toronto. I was in the dead last row. My seat did not recline because the bathroom was behind me. There was 3 kids in front of me. Worst flight ever. Dude, at one point the stewardess comes up and she's like, "Excuse me, sir, I'm going to need you to put your seat up." And I went, "My seat doesn't go back. There's nowhere for it to go." And she looks at me and she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry." I was like, "You fucking I was fucking livid.
She cranked it forward and you were like a ski jumper. Imagine that's how you had to fly.
Yeah, just
Like
for
this.
yeah. 5 hours like that.
You were
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Oh my goodness!
Or if they sold Superman seats where you were outside the plane like that. They just
the
give you
wing.
goggles. Yeah.
There's a point where
On the wing.
What does he say in Titanic?
I'm the king of the world.
Just lean your seat
up
really
and
far
away.
forward. Oh my God.
What else you got, Kamar?
Well, they talk about airplane violence and security checks and all this stuff, and Joe and then Sebastian's like, but you know, like Joe, you could handle someone on a plane.
Yeah.
And Joe went into like this dark place, like, well, on a plane, someone would have to probably cease to exist within seconds.
Yeah, because once I get my hands on him,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to stop myself from popping his skull like a cherry
And
tomato.
the person,
My killer instinct
the
was
person beside him would witness this, and they'd be so fucked up, I'd have to kill them.
You thought killer whales were interesting? Wait until they get a load of me.
Yeah.
Before
You ain't seen nothing
you're
yet.
killing everyone on the plane to make sure you're safe, because at some point they grab you, you don't know.
Yeah,
He went to a really
when
dark
that
place.
stewardess asked me, "Do I have her back?" I was like, "Yeah, but are you accepting murder on the table?"
No, it felt like he was like at the Neil Young concert again, where he was like, I have two options here: either kill someone or put the hoodie on.
Kill everyone at this concert, or just get out
or
of
just
here.
put my hoodie on and walk away.
Luckily for everyone at this concert,
Yeah, the hood's going on.
call me Bill Belichick. That's the hoodie, Kamar.
They talked about Tyson and Paul that's going to be live on Netflix. Have you seen John Mulaney's thing?
No.
Tyson versus Paul. If Tyson wins, that is the battle for old guys.
Yeah,
Like 57 is the day you.
yeah, you got to wrap it up.
I was thinking about when I was young, if I knew someone was old, how old and shitty I think they were.
Yeah,
And they were a lot younger
than I am.
right now.
Yep.
What I would say, this fucking loser.
Oh yeah, by my age, I was
So
like, that guy's
old, like-
dead, right?
Like when I in my 20s, what I thought of me, like it.
And I said to
hurts me.
Kamar today, because we were talking about something like
hurts
this
me.
on the way over, and I said, "Yeah, but like we're cool 50-year-olds." You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's what we think. That's what we
No,
hope.
and remember every guy who thought he was a cool 50-year-old when you were 30 or 20?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Those guys weren't cool.
no,
And
fucking losers.
but I
We're
could
not cool.
No.
I
I'm a
could
loser.
imagine when I was 20, I was like, one day I'll fucking fight Mike Tyson. This guy did it. And this is the whole spectacle. And that's what I'm saying.
Is this to all tell us how great fucking Jared
Jake
Paul is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jared Paul.
Deal with it. And I'll just listen for once in your life.
It's going to tell us how great Trump is next.
If
That's what he's going to tell us.
if Tyson wins, that allows men 57 to be the age you can still get it done.
You can still fuck at
You
57.
still get it
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
57, then after it's all, if he loses, we're all
it's done for.
then we
lambs
need to
in
get
slaughter, man.
then we need to get a younger guy to fight
because
Jared
yeah,
Paul.
yeah,
your brain and common sense don't line up with your physical ability.
yeah,
And only when you lose all your physical ability does your common sense really kick in.
yeah.
But before, when you don't care, you think other things. Jamie Foxx, we got to talk.
What do we got to talk about?
Is there no conspiracy about Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx?
Whoa, that he's what, a clone?
Yeah, that's
Something
that's the
happened.
thing,
He got
yeah.
sick. Something. There's nothing out there. You have no.
There's lots of conspiracy theories about Jamie Foxx.
And he's
Jiminy
absent,
Fox.
like, because I only see him on MGM Grand
Commercials, yeah.
commercials.
You know my
He's
favorite.
still
And
in
I
the-
think that's actually just one of those, like Bruce Willis sold his AI version of himself.
Yeah, it's not the
I
real
think
Jamie
that-
Foxx.
yeah, that's not the
I
real
like that.
Jamie Foxx.
I can get down with that.
you don't care about Jamie Foxx. You don't care about Jamie Foxx.
Is it possible that Jamie Foxx and P. Diddy were the same person?
Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible, man.
Jamie Foxx and P Diddy are the same people? You've heard that?
I just
No,
made
he's-
it up.
he's
It's a
Hunter S.
rumor, and I
Thompson
know
over
it
here.
is because I started it.
Hunter S. Thompson, 1944.
I want him at my dinner party. There you go. That's my fifth.
There you go. I like that.
Then they talked about slap fighting, which Joe sort of
It's really funny
wasn't
how
supportive of, even though he's supportive of combat sports.
I don't know how much you keep up with Dana, but anytime he's asked about that, he's
The
just
greatest
like,
thing ever.
"This is the greatest thing ever. We've
Oxygen.
made way more money with slap fighting
Cell
than we
phones.
ever have with the UFC."
Yeah, I know, I don't buy that.
And you're just like, "Yo, you're saying this enough to try and convince us all that this is the
Yeah.
case, but
I'm not
nobody
gay.
gives a fuck about slap fighting."
Yeah. Not now, but
What if
we
they- what if-
also
but the
all
more
said that about the
he's-
UFC.
Well, it's
Point of
maybe-
order, be it resolved. If he owns the place where it's happening, like the production cost of slap fighting would be so much more cheaper than running the UFC there. And so even if it made less money, it's making more money.
You know what would just make him the most money is if
Not
he got
doing
his
it.
own network.
Not doing it.
No, then he could just air any weird sport he wanted to.
That's true.
They could do thumb wrestling.
But
or
Joe is
something.
not supportive of slap fighting.
Well, because it's retarded.
It is pretty ridiculous, yeah.
It's like, it's so dumb. Listen, when a sport,
You can use that word.
when a sport, air quotations, has like a 90% knockout rate, meaning the second guy never even gets a chance to hit back. We don't even know how good he is. We just know that if you slap him hard enough, he's going to go unconscious.
Should there be a sport where it's a duel with rubber bullets? I saw footage of a duel, and it's pretty cool.
That's a great idea. Do paintball duels? I'd watch
Dana
that.
White's rubber bullet duel.
That sounds way better than a slap
Now
fight.
you can attack someone on the internet, but you used to be like, dude, you and me at dawn, bring your pistol.
And
First of all,
And
if
then
it was really a slap fight, it would just be no holds barred, but like only slaps. So just two guys walk into the ring and just pimp slap the shit out of each other until one man is out, I guess.
interesting.
But the whole taking a turn thing is it's ridiculous.
I mean, the fact that it's called slap fight and everybody just accepts this.
Well, am I
know what I
right?
mean?
Right? Like slap fighting is meaning
They
you
call
slap
it
the
OnlyFans, and everyone accepts it.
well, because it's only for fans. You
What
have
are
to
you
pay.
talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't at all. But listen, that's a regular occurrence on this show.
Yeah, so Prime Tyson's the best. Jake Paul's the best.
No, Jake
Tyson
Paul
versus
is not the best.
Who are you guys calling?
I hope that Mike Tyson breaks every rib in this kid's chest. I hope he has internal bleeding. I hope that. Have you seen the clips of Mike Tyson hitting that bag?
Yeah.
I hope he does that to him. I hope he bodies this kid.
Will you watch it?
I'll probably watch it the next morning for free.
It's free on Netflix.
I will definitely watch it. 100% yes.
Yeah, if I can skip through it right to the fight I want, yeah, I'll watch it for sure.
Well, it'll be live on Netflix the same way the roast was.
Simon, the Knicks
a new thing.
are getting demolished right now.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of key players.
They are down by 30.
Oh, well, that's not good. But you know, here's the good part, Matt. They don't have anybody on the bench to put in to take the minutes up. So
Oh, both of our cards are done, just in case.
Josh
you're-
Hart played something like the whole game. How many minutes are there in a game?
Guys,
That's how many
join the
minutes he
Patreon now,
played.
because this is the sort of stuff we do in the post show.
Yeah, and I could use some money to feed this addiction I have.
They talked about the solar flares, which have turned out to be a nothing burger. At the time, Joe was some sort of feeling away, which weird makes it very recent, very on time. I think our whole
don't know. Maybe it was
conspiracy about the can is way far fetched and not at all what we think it is.
What,
a minute.
he's been on
Hold
par
on.
with 2 episodes,
Wait.
and all of a sudden you're just
Wait,
fucking giving
No,
him
we're gonna
flowers?
fight. I'm sure we have to.
I don't
fight.
get it though, because he said this weekend. What makes you think it was this weekend?
Because it was this weekend.
What, you looked it up?
Well, it is.
Whatever, suck my dick.
It's a coincidence. They have nothing to do with each other. But the storms he was talking about happened this weekend.
Okay, fine.
It
Who
wasn't the
cares either
news.
way? And why are we making a big thing out of it? You're the one who made the biggest thing out of it when it started. You were like, the downfall of the show was it not going live.
Oh no, I don't know. I just
Don't say I don't know. That's what you said.
I'm trying to be controversial.
Okay.
Now, finally, they talked about moving around state to state. I mean, it matters if you have money more so than if you don't have money. But I feel like all of Canada is California. It might be a little bit better.
What are you talking about? Alberta's
out
conservative.
west. No, but I'm saying opportunity. Like you can't move a lot of places for a lot more benefit and opportunity. Like there's opportunity all over America. If you want to go to Ohio, you can really succeed in Ohio if you want to be there. There's a lot going on there. New York, Florida, Texas, California, in certain conditions.
So you just named 6 states. There's 50.
Well, so the ones some in the middle you don't want to go to. You could go to Oklahoma
saying.
and make a killing. But
Listen, I think if you're a really driven and smart person, you could go anywhere in the States and make money. I'm probably the same in Canada.
the feeling of being in a state where you pay a lot of taxes, so you expect things should be really good, but it's not. And we live in a country where we pay a lot of taxes, and we expect things should be good, and they keep raising taxes, and it's not.
Yeah, I agree. Listen,
And there's more people in California than Canada, so it's not a Crazy.
This place stinks. That place stinks. Like nobody's doing it right.
Texas sounds like he's doing better. So does Florida.
Okay, well, let's move down there.
Kamar, none
I'm
of
with
us
you.
would
If you
care.
want to move, I'll follow.
You, me, Simon, not one,
$25,000? Are you kidding me?
not one of us would give a shit about taxes if we felt like they were doing something.
I
Or
agree.
if we
Going to the
made
right
a lot
place.
of money. If you had a lot of money, like if you didn't have to worry about paying
I
the bill
also
at a
wouldn't
restaurant,
care. Yes.
then it would suck. But you wouldn't really care. It doesn't affect anything. When it affects shit, you care.
And that's what this whole episode was about. And I want to extend a personal thank you to Sebastian for bringing it.
God, I thought we were still talking about Gad Sad.
I saw a TED Talk this week. This guy, it was very interesting. It was called "We Don't Care About Our Children."
It was good.
You saw it?
I did.
Yeah, very
It's
interesting.
very true.
Well,
It's 100% true.
I have put it together a PowerPoint presentation where I'm going to take that to my parents with my living will proposal.
No, but it was like,
It's
dude,
funny. It only took 2 generations to make you like forget the future.
one of the wildest things
Is
he
it
said,
funny?
the way he said it too, really put in perspective. He was like, why do we put more emphasis on invested dollars than we do on sweat dollars? He said it more eloquently, but the idea was like, we don't want to tax capital gains. We're so afraid of that, but we have no problem taxing the working man. And it's like, well, maybe we should go a little harder the other way. Like, I get it. We all invest and we want investments to make money and you want to be taxed less on them. But like, that's money making money from money. Like, that should be taxed. You're not doing anything for it. The other money that you work for should be taxed at a much lower rate.
It's harder to get.
A way lower rate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Is that what he said?
Again, no.
No, he was talking about how it brought it out of the ether.
God, that's sad.
I'll give this one a 2.5. I like Sebastian. I mean, again, he's definitely seemed like he was like, it seemed like, you know, when like a star has a movie out and they're doing a press junket, you
Yeah,
can tell
it's
it's like their
exactly-
fifth,
yep.
it's like their 50th interview of the day. And they're like, yeah, I've answered this question. It literally seemed like he was just there. Like there was one point where I'm not kidding. Sebastian goes, yeah, well, anyway, Joe. And you could tell that he was like hoping that Joe would just be done with it. But Joe was like,
Well, it was also weird.
solar
that-
flares.
If I say I have to go to the bathroom, will he just wrap this thing up? You
Exactly.
think? In a
But he did not
monologue for
know.
Sebastian?
I was aware he did not know. He could have said, pause. We'll finish up after I can take a leak.
Well, he would know that if he ever listened to Joe's show, but trust me, he doesn't.
Well, that's better.
It's nice to have some semblance of.
I imagine
knowing
that when
what's going on.
Sebastian listens to anything, it's just the like, you know, that intro to Dave Portnoy's pizza reviews? Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. That's just all
You
that's
are
playing.
good enough. You are strong enough. You are a strong Italian man.
That's it. We rated it. Everyone's done. Did you rate it, Simon?
I have to rate this episode.
Yeah. I give it a 2.5.
I give it a 2.
Okay.
He did fine. It was short and sweet. He didn't suck up to Joe. It felt like an alpha move.
Yeah, definitely an alpha. Yeah, all Italians were
He
like
put
that.
his feet up on the desk,
Well, without doing it.
but metaphorically.
Figuratively. Yeah. All right. Well, that's an episode. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Maybe you're willing to go a step further. We have a Patreon where you can support Simon's gambling habit. Head over to patreon.com/JREE podcast. For that $5, you get the post show. It's the show after the show where we shoot the shit, talk some non-Joe stuff. You'll also get old episodes of This Won't Age Well, the show where we went back and listened to old episodes of Joe and did the same bullshit we do here. There's a moon debate. There's We Might Be Trash, although I just released 2 of those for free.
I can't believe you didn't bring that up with Mike Baker.
Can't believe you didn't bring one up with Mike Baker.
Bike maker,
The moon
moonraker,
guy was on last week.
heartbreaker.
Oh, yeah, the moon guy. Yeah, well, Mike, he knows he's not getting anything out of Mike Baker there. Anyway, that's a show. Thank you guys so much. We hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Don't believe a thing Mike Baker says and keep your eyes open.